Hello, chat. We're back, and I hope you can hear us. And my camera is crooked.
Hello.
Hello! I remembered we were gaming today. Great. It's been that kind of week. But I am here. I'm not in the middle of a 48-hour migraine, and I am ready to torture some players.
Joy. Cool. And we have
Woohoo.
confirmation that audio works from Arcane the Sage. Thank you, Arcane.
Thanks, bro! So yes, I'm Ms. Chrysula, I'm the GM, I'm the channel producer, I run all the things, and the game, and the chat, and all the things, and... Whee! And yeah, this is Magic Fish Radio. We do TTRPG streams on Saturdays and Tuesday nights, assuming I'm alive, and not dead for tax purposes. Or other purposes. And tonight is Exit to Eden, a world of darkness in space, where it's all of the NWoD, the main 4 NWoD splats in a far-flung future where we lost Earth, regained a whole bunch of colony planets, and then the Supernats, all of the veils fell after the True Fae tried to conquer the galaxy. And it was the vampires' fault. Which is ironic, because they're usually the gold standard for masquerades. But nope, not that year.
They've had a couple slip-ups now and then.
Hey, these blood bank numbers don't match up. We should investigate. Wait, what the fuck?
I mean, I think their biggest slip up was probably Bram Stoker, but that's just me.
That came up in Tuesday night's game. Anyway, so...
It did.
That was a weird conversation. So many... Oh, that was weird. Anyway, in tonight's weird game, our players are not currently in Eden system, where they come from, which is the last bastion of supernatural tolerance in the Expanse systems of space. They are in Limos system, which was apparently founded by space Argonauts instead of space Vikings. And they really hate Supernats here, and our team is there to try and, if not stop the same purge type deal that happened in other local systems, at least try and help the Supernats escape before they get murdered and firebombed. This all feels really weird to talk about in the same week as global war situations in real life.
To be fair, we've been on this particular arc for longer than the occupation of Palestine. So,
Depends.
I mean, no. The most recent round of hostilities, I should say,
Yeah.
that were in the news.
That's a whole...
We started this arc before that happened, so we definitely had it going before Ukraine happened. So this is not a response to anything. It's what's happening in our game.
And I'm blatantly an SJW, so such things are reflected in my game, and I don't care. If you don't like it, don't watch. Plenty of other people don't watch, and that's fine. So yeah, that's where we are. Most recently, our protagonists found themselves somehow tricked into walking straight into a wound, which is a rip between dimensions, where apparently in this case there is no gauntlet between the mundane and spirit worlds, and there is a very toxic ecosystem of evil spirits, literal evil spirits called Magaths that make no sense, and it is ruled over by a Maeljin. Maeljin, I said it right this time. They were then rescued by a platoon of what one of them at least was able to establish, yeah, those are werewolves. The military guy in the party was like, the fuck are they doing? And the wolf blood in the party was like, oh, that's werewolf tactics, not military tactics, because wolf life. And that, we ended it with them escaping the wound with a whole bunch of strangers in battle armor in Dalu form. Weirdly, not Garu form, but we'll get to that. We might talk about that today. So with that, I have to tally up all of the... Oh, channel points! You can buy into our stream and fuck shit up for players and or GM using channel points instead of cash. So click the channel points bubble at the bottom of the chat bar, and you can buy +1s for me, +1s for the players, custom NPCs, which I have final editorial control over. Also, they're not hack attacks. Suck it up. So yeah, and at least 2 of tonight's main NPCs were originally NPC buy-ins that I have tailored to fit what I need to do. Sometimes I embrace the whole concept, sometimes, like, I don't have time for this, we've been doing 3 games straight of combat, we need to get going. So yeah. Oh, and we still are open to, for 1,000 points, you can suggest the name of the Karve crew's spaceship. And once we have enough of those, the players will vote on which to name their spaceship. Because these folks are, on paper, Karve Tourism Ltd, an intergalactic tourist agency, which is a front for an underground railroad for Supernats and other folks trying to flee persecution. And a whole bunch of persecution's about to go down in Limos. So with that, and in 1 hour, 23 minutes, we have a 10-minute break. So please plan your ramen plans around that. And with that, I'm going to start tallying up channel point buy-ins from the last week into this week, and our players will tell you who they are playing. Let's go clockwise. Zardoz, who are you playing today, and what's his name today? Because that keeps changing.
I am still John Rando III, third of his name. I am a shapeshifter who happens to be working with this group for, well, lots of different reasons. I'm having a very bad day because last week's really sucked.
In-game or in real life?
In game, I burned through 9 of my glamour.
Yeah.
Almost killed a monster though. Almost got him.
Almost. I'm not entirely convinced of that, but okay.
You got a good,
One more really good shot from that rock.
And then one of the other spirits would have well, we'll get into that maybe, depending on how today's roleplay goes. Next, Puka.
Hello, I'm Puka. I'm playing Sungrazer, the washed-up mechanic, engineer, pilot type who's recently been throwing around a lot of elemental power stuff, which, you know, that's pretty fun. Making it storm like Storm.
Taking washed up in the literal sense this time.
Precisely.
Guess that makes it me.
Dragos.
Hi, I'm Drakus. I'm playing Klaus today, the resident asshole mage.
And
Medic of the team. Also completely clueless as to what's going on here. Not completely, but more clueless than I am comfortable with being.
And you do have 1 dot of spirit.
One.
You know, some bullshit's going on.
Wow, that sure is some bullshit.
That's all new bullshit to me.
You
Oh,
have
it's
just
bullshit.
enough spirit to know that something is going on.
Yeah.
But not enough to know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's bullshit in 8 dimensions instead of 4. Great.
Yeah.
And next, Merc.
Yep, I'm Mark. I play Idun the Wolfblood. Technically, the last few sessions have been basically my splats bullshit, but the way it ended up working out was that I didn't have exactly the kind of handle on things that was required for such an area, which was perhaps not the best way, and also it might be my fault that we ended up in the wound in the first place, because I can sort of read first speech, but not totally. Ish.
On the upside, you might have been the one who saved the whole party by just knowing we should call the werewolves. I'ma call the werewolves, which is the smartest and best decision any wolfblood or kinfolk can make. It's just above my pay grade. Call the professionals.
I'm out of my depths. Time to call professionals.
And of the whole party that we had, at least last week, you had the most knowledge of just how deep shit you were in once you were in it. So yes, any more questions before we begin? Okay. PC +1s in the pool. There are 11.
That's it?
Y'all used a lot last week. Like, a lot. So,
I
I
do
have
something about that.
considerably more. I may end up using them today. We will see. Oh. Someone named Mercurqui has just bought a bunch of player plus. Oh, and
4,
someone named Pukagar.
5. Okay, there we go.
So long as your accounts are beefing up our stream numbers and watching us stream, I am fine with it. Oh, I have a lot to. Oh.
Thanks, Mr. 571Z.
Oh. Okay.
I'm gonna hold that against you, you know.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I put in 5 myself.
7,
Put in 3.
8.
That's... And then Mr. Z appears to be... that's 3 for you. 3 more for you.
Alright. Thank you, everyone. Spend
So
those
8 for us,
channel
3 for you.
points. Okay. Now I should bring up my game notes. Because my body is trying to derail game today, but luckily I wrote this plot like 2 months ago. Woohoo! Thank you, past Chris. Where are we? Episode 47. Alright, so... There is a marked, like, border as you guys exit the plague sector. Which, as we established... And yes, Dracus, my notes say 1,000 years. So,
Okay.
and it says it a lot over and over again, because it's my
Okay.
notes, and ADHD brain is very repetitive.
I
Here.
will put that in my notes then.
Yeah. So, I don't know if I said it wrong. That is also
That's
possible.
possible.
But it's 1,000 years ago, Logoi...
Superstition and the sword ruled. Sorry.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's just a sword with a gun on it, because it's still the future, and the past of the future is still very sci-fi-y. So about 1,000 years ago, there was apparently a red plague outbreak, which is a very, very bad disease, which not only, you know, melts a human's body into red mush, to Supernats, it basically turns them into the morality zero monsters of their species, and then they kill lots of people before they can succumb to the disease.
Psychosis is a symptom.
Yeah. It's very bad. So it seems like, well, yep, so as you leave the Plague Quarter, it is very just... Not even going to make you roll for it. It is a very jarring change. It turns back into what you would expect from an abandoned Undercity district. It goes from hot and acrid, hellish-smelling air to dark and damp and musty, skittering insects and crawlies. It looks like the area was picked clean by scavengers many, many moons ago. Which was not the case in the Plague Quarter. Now you have a better idea of why no one came down to steal shit. Because no one wanted to go in.
I mean, maybe they did, but they didn't come out again.
Probably a little of both.
Mm-hmm.
And once enough people didn't come out, the rest of the people went, there's obviously something there that stops me from coming out. I'm not going in.
Yes. Once you're in a few yards, you come up to one of those rope coil pulley things, because as you saw, the platoon that came out to get you was tethered by some kind of metal rope or cord that they were all kind of tied to in a tight cluster, and then targeting and shooting spirits out of the air from their little bundle of wolf pack.
Basically one of those things you put garden hose on.
Yeah. And then they handed each of you a kind of handcuff that didn't lock, because you weren't being arrested. They're just like, no, hook up to the tether and we will get the fuck out of here. No one said it explicitly, but that was the direct inference that you picked up. You still have an unconscious Petruchio and an unconscious Boris.
Was it an inference because they're wolves?
Inference. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. More puns!
Yeah.
More puns.
We have to pause for them.
I'd say they gave pause, but they weren't in Garu form.
Nope. Or Urhan.
Anyway, so yeah, you get to the, the coil, the umbilicus coil thingy, and they all take a minute to, start putting their weapons away, and you see all of them are just, like, battle masked and cloak suited up, and they all shrink by at least 6 inches to a foot. But their clothes still all fit, because #werewolf life. And they were all checking their weapons before putting them away. Rando, based on what you do, they are all very good at taking care of these weapons. Actually, roll me, int weaponry. Is it int weaponry or int firearms?
Int firearms.
Int firearms, yeah. And your spec in pistols, applies. Bring up my notes again.
Is your dice hiding from you?
No, I'm pulling up my character sheet.
Ah.
Okay. Let's see. Pistol.
Arcane the Sage. What is another name for Garu jazz hand experts? Masters of the dramatic paw. More exclamation point puns. Do it so I don't have to. I'm trying to run the game. But yes, we are.
I got an 8.
That's one success. So you do not. These are well-maintained weapons. These are much loved, much cared for. You suspect. At first, you're like, "What are they?" That like you've never seen firearms of this make and model before. And then you kind of see, like, well cared for, but there is still a whole lot of wear on them. These are at least a century out of date, if not more. They might have been military grade at some point in the past, but these are very old guns. And honestly, they shouldn't be able to fire, at least one of them fires cold iron bullets. And at least one of them fires silver bullets. Those are really shitty ordnance.
Yeah.
And they seem undamaged by them.
That's a thing.
What were the other things? They were shooting those 2 things, and what other 2 at the Maeljin?
Someone had, well, they were various metal bullets. 3 of them were firing various forms of metal bullets that shouldn't be fired. But it worked. Who knows? And another has a different make and model gun, but it's still like that, so what the fuck is that? That was firing a laser? But like a really weird looking laser with like a lot of very yellow ambient light, kind of like almost like a bolt of sunlight. Which guns should not, like, UV guns are a thing, especially now that people hate vampires, and even though there are a lot more suns in the galaxy and not all of them hurt vampires, it's very strange. It was really just Earth's sun that was racist towards vampires. Or speciesist.
Oh, did my contracts end now that we're out of that combat scene?
Yeah, this is a different scene, so.
Okay, then I also shrink back down about 7 inches.
And I stop electrocuting everyone around me.
That's good.
I mean,
We appreciate you not doing that.
You can shock me whenever you like. I am down for it.
I'll keep that in mind next Friday night.
Back on the ship.
So as everyone is powering down, the still biggest person in the group who was leading the charge, seems to be arguing with one of the people with one of the magic guns. Or one of the weird guns. I said, I mean, it's kind of obvious at this point. How could they not be magic?
We live in a magical world. Of course they're magic.
Yeah.
Can we hear them arguing, or are they doing that thing where they look like they're arguing, but we can't hear anything?
Well, you can all hear them, but, Dune, you speak spirit speech, right? Or ish. Yeah, you can sort of tell what they're arguing about. Klaus, you know high speech because all mages have to. It sounds a little bit like that, but like if high speech is what like high Royal British English sounds like.
They're arguing Cockney.
Yeah, they're arguing Cockney, basically. So it's like.
So is it more or less understandable then?
More, the two of you can get the gist that they're kind of fighting about should we just escort them to the exit, or should we debrief them? Like, could they help? And, the big guy is speaking with this kind of, if you knew what Texas was, it sounds like a Texas drawl. And the shorter woman, or female presenting person is speaking with more, ironically, an English accent. The big guy seems permanently angry. Dune, you're pretty sure you know why. The woman seems more level-headed, like, I think they can, like, we are in very dire straits. We need help. They're here. We'll figure this out. And it's like, I don't know, but
I'm like looking at Dune, looking at these guys, looking at Dune.
You have our thanks for the timely rescue. I fear that we would not have been able to get out on our own.
Oh no, most certainly would not have. I mean,
I like how none of them speak with the rolling accents, doing kind of the biggest thick wolf country accent that neither of them have ever heard, probably.
You'd be surprised at the number of accents on a planet covered in billions or hundreds of billions of people. There are a lot of regional variations, which is why you have a Texan talking to an English lady, or sort of what it sounds like, but in spirit speech. They speak to you in English, because, you know.
Yeah.
No, you most certainly would not have survived that, but we will... And she's like, vote for, and everyone else in the party just holds her hands up for 4. Against, and it's just the big guy, and she's like... He just sort of growls and is stalking away, and she's like, follow us. I'm not sure what we can do for your vampire friend, because honestly we don't know much about their physiology. And she looks over at one of the unarmed people, and this female presenting person just sort of shrug, and she's like, but your werewolf friend, I think we can try to help him.
I'm fairly certain that if there is something irrevocably wrong with our vampire, I'm pretty sure we can get another one by the same name. They're one of those kinds that prefers the body double, I believe is the phrase. Although that's not quite correct. It's the closest I can come.
Maybe that's
Dude, we're going to try to save them, okay?
I know, I'm simply saying that if the werewolves can do nothing for the vampire, which would not at all surprise me, that we would not be completely ashore.
I mean, it's just we know how to heal the living. They are not technically alive, but they're not technically dead. And, I mean, we're not necessarily against it, we just don't know what we're doing, so we'd rather not kill them by accident.
I'm pretty sure
that's more or
that
less what I'm here for, so...
Alright,
I'm pretty sure that the copious application of blood at some point would probably wake them up.
Alright, not our blood, because...
Later.
Yes,
Later.
I do know not to feed werewolf blood to a vampire, that's... I've heard stories. Anyway, come with us. It's pretty obvious we're in a bind, so if you'll come with us, we'll see what we can do.
Lead the way.
And she starts leading out one of the Dune, you can tell by their tattoos that she's an Aether. She offers to take Boris from you.
Oh yeah, I handed off my burdens as soon as I got attached to the line, because these guys were a foot and a half taller than I am, and Dune is very tall. And we were also getting ready to fight for our lives on the way out. So, both hands free now.
So as you start heading somewhere, for a while it's still a very like this is an abandoned Undercity, and then things start getting a bit more like well kept. Like there are underground plant life that seem to be cultivated. You pass by some hydroponic setups.
It's still old and kind of shitty, but now it's been cared for.
Yeah, things have been replaced and repaired, updated where possible. You pass by what you think might be living quarters, and it kind of feels like you're on a really big spaceship, but you're in an underground city lair. You pass by some labs. At one point, you clearly walk past what's a med bay, and the Aether takes Boris in. Once you start getting into the quarters area, the two Araka kind of peel off, and Dune, you assume they're securing the perimeter. At one point, the other Aether also peels off, and you are left with 3 pack members. As you come into kind of like a general like rec area mess hall, like there's a kitchenette and like a refrigerator and more like an herb garden kind of thing, and it's very rundown, very shitty, but like well cared for, etc. And this has probably been here for centuries.
The table of Theseus, got it.
Yep. Oh, the lair of Theseus, very much so. Well, have a seat. Do any of the rest of you have any injuries that need tending to?
I do not believe so. Although I believe, out of character, did Klaus take any fire rat damage? Because I feel like they each took 1 burning.
Oh, and then Sungrazer electrocuted everyone. Or no, bashing damaged them with rain.
Bashing damage, yes. But that
I
didn't get through my
marked
armor.
down 2 health levels, but I don't remember what those are from.
That was
the rain.
Yeah.
It was very intense rain.
Did not get through my armor. But no, like the fire rats, Boris was carrying you and Petruchio through the fire rats, and they did actually stop at you briefly. And I think you guys each took 1 fire.
Boris took the brunt of the fire rat damage.
Yeah, because they were mostly after him, but yeah, he was carrying at one point, and then he dropped them to keep running. But anyway, probably not important.
Mm-hmm.
You are lightly singed.
Yeah, but you're
okay.
Anyone who wasn't wearing that much armor or didn't otherwise have healing powers has a couple bash. So basically, Klaus got beat up by some rain. So she.
Most of this blood is mine, but I'm not worried about it.
Oh, very well. And she will just go to. Actually, the dude with the laser gun kind of saunters over to one of the cabinets and takes out some like bandage and ointment and puts it in front of the bruised mage. He's like, "Here you go, man. Do you want me to do that or?"
Yeah, working on myself is hard.
Okay, and yeah, he just starts dabbing on bruises, and he's like,
Do you need something to take the edge off?
I feel like that should
For
be.
you to assume I don't already have that.
There.
Yeah, Klaus doesn't do edges unless they want to. That is Klaus. Oh, another player +1 from Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Klaus, can you write a memoir entitled "Working on Myself is Hard"? That would be.
That is sort of your operational motto.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna try not to be offended by that.
I mean,
Sungrazer's gonna ask the werewolf, begging your pardon, but you don't happen to have any caffeine, do you?
Yes, I think we just I think we have something. It's a bit raw. It's a bit rough, but I mean, we do what we can with hydroponics.
Perfect.
So
And
yes.
that's the title of Sungrazer's memoir. It's a bit rough.
I'll remember that next Friday night.
You take me to the strangest places. I'm just gonna put that out right now.
That can be your memoir title.
They have everything. There's a dwarf.
Technically, Dune took you all to this strange place.
Uh-huh.
And so the English lady has kind of taken off some of her gear, and you know they're wearing. Again, it's not like they're wearing rags, but these are people who dress for comfort and efficiency, not style. So yeah, and the big dude has left his armor on and is kind of just sitting in his chair in the corner.
Well, it's very clearly his chair.
Glowering.
Probably smells like his urine. Sungrazer does not say that out loud.
Actually, no one really smells like that here. It's kind of... It is a bit musky, I'm not gonna lie. And there were a few pea smell spots out on the way in, like out in the outskirts. But in here it feels quite homey in a sci-fi spaceship Red Dwarf kind of way.
Strangely enough, this feels like a safe place, Merritt. No, I'm kidding.
You would not be wrong. So yeah, and the ray gun dude finishes kind of dabbing at Klaus's problem areas and then takes his own armor off. There is another very respectful looking gun rack, where clearly like the stereotype, you know, samurai puts their katana in a place of honor. They do the same with their guns and a whole bunch of other weapons. Yeah, so phrasing. What was phrasing?
Dabbing Klaus's problem spots.
I just wasn't gonna say anything, but you know.
So
Anyway.
the surfer the ray gun guy you know, gets a pot of coffee, pours out some mugs. He's like, anybody else want some?
No, you don't get the whole pot.
Sungrazer grudgingly hands the pot over to Clark.
I'll take a mug and I will take out another bottle and start and just doctor mine a little bit, because clearly I need it after what's happened.
Is it from the glowy bottle?
It's another glowy bottle. So
you're one of those wolf bloods. Cool, man.
I'll offer it around.
Oh, sure.
To the wolf.
And the
Finest wolf country moonshine, straight from Eden. Pardon me, from Eden system.
Where's that? I don't even know where that is, man.
It's that way.
Oh, okay.
A parsec or two, I believe.
Cool. And he wants some in his coffee, and then the English lady just like death glares at him, and he's just like, maybe later. And just pours himself regular coffee, and it's like, okay, fine.
Like, I didn't pour much in mine, and honestly, I've had this enough that I'm probably largely... It would take more than this to get me drunk, but it's just like,
yeah,
there are some edges that need removing.
You just need a nip. A nip slip.
And incidentally, this is still not my silver hip flask, so...
Yeah, you know.
I came burdened like I was gonna be making nice with a bunch of werewolves, which...
Well, you get to do that now.
Yeah, which is why I brought the booze in the first place.
When you said that Dune handed it around, did that include the rest of us? Because I am genuinely curious what would happen if Sungrazer drank some of the moonshine.
Do not.
Dune absolutely will. Dune will not hinder anybody from drinking anything they want to, basically.
I'm not going to stop you in character, kind of curious in a horrible sort of way.
No problem
like...
giving completely inappropriate alcohol to other people because, you know, he's pretty sure that it's good for everybody because it's good for him.
We'll stick with coffee for now. Just for now. For now. But this has been mentally noted.
So you're all sitting around this mess hall table with this English lady and this surfer dude. Alright, so, would you please explain to me the chain of events which led you directly into where we found you?
Dune will pull out the little piece of paper that he got that had been taped to the ship's door, I believe. The one with the welcome sigil on it. So, pursuant to the message I sent you when I had first arrived, because Dune arrived with 3 talents. The first one I sent to the werewolves the first time at the edge of their territory. You know, do not pass this place or whatever. Or at least what he thought was the edge of their territory. And the second one he put in the rude lady's purse at the post office. And then the third one we used to get out of the wound. So that's all 3 of them are gone. Pursuant to the message I had sent you when I had first arrived, I was looking for a communication from our set, basically, our people. And so when this arrived, I had thought that you had gotten my message and wished to treat, possibly in the hopes of removing yourselves from this entire planet, as it seems to be on the edge of a purge in such a fashion that would inevitably spell the messy end of a lot of supernatural people, not just wolves. So, when I had received this note, I deciphered it as best I could. I will admit that I am not the sort of wolf blood who normally trucks with the Hysil or the far side of the gauntlet, as it is very high in Eden City. But I saw that it was a welcome symbol, and when I found again the symbol down, it was scratched into the wall in such a fashion as might be done by claws. We proceeded forward and found ourselves in the wound proper.
Well, you might be unhappy to find out that we got, the second message was the little bat spirit. Yes?
Correct. The message I sent the second time out of the wound was the little bat spirit.
We did not receive the first one.
Ah.
And we definitely did not send you that. This has been a problem for quite a while, as something has been intercepting messages to and from us. I think you can guess what. So,
I believe we saw it, and did a fair amount of annoyance to it.
And this wouldn't be the first time it has lured in prey from the outside. Which is why, well, Bob can have his own feelings, but I'm not particularly upset with you because it's not like this has happened before. Well, it's not like this hasn't happened before. And it's how
We're simply somewhat luckier than our second message reached you.
Yes. Well, I assume you sent that from within, so it has less distance to go. So yes, and it seems we got to just in time.
For which we are very appreciative.
So not only have our messages gone awry, we have a communications suite, but it's very difficult to get proper reception down here, especially with most, if not all, utilities cut off in the surrounding areas. So we are vaguely aware that anyone on the surface who is helping us is gone now, presumably to dysnomia. Someone has been, we have some drop boxes about, and someone claiming to be Church of the Weird, which I assume is changelings, has been leaving us supplies, so someone else is stuck here and has been trying to help us.
That is why we are here. We are here for the Church of the Weird. Its section on Eden reached out to us with the news that Logoi was on the way to another purge, in hopes of trying to prevent such a event from occurring, or at least minimizing it. We came to Logoi to offer safe transport to anybody who wished to get off to Eden City, and from thence wherever they so chose. So far, we have spoken to and trucked with the vampires, who were perhaps less than accepting of the idea, and the changelings, who are very welcoming to it, and are looking forward to getting the hell out of here. Since we hadn't reached out to you, I'd hoped that, well, we decided that we should at least make the offer, because if you choose to stay behind, I don't doubt that this area is probably beyond the pale or purview of the more mundane, let's say, guards, but I don't believe that it's very sustainable without outside help, and you would have none once the purge was complete.
Oh, there's even worse possibilities than that. If you can't tell by what you have already seen. And from his corner, the guy just growls, "Don't you fucking dare. Like, we cannot, we do not." And she's just like, "Look, we are out of options." And he's like,
If it's any consolation, I don't believe any of us perhaps fit the definition strictly of herd. I am kin, and they are not.
It's not just that. And she seems like she is trying to... Dune, roll me int occult werewolf stuff. Or spirit stuff. Both apply
I have spec in werewolf, so...
Yeah.
Shit! I have a dice on the floor.
Party foul! Does anyone else have a spec in werewolf stuff?
13.
Okay. 13?
Hmm?
So that is 2 successes. So, the sense you are getting, like, yes, the first rule of Wolf Club is you don't talk about Wolf Club.
Also, I have one question before you say that. We walked through dormitory areas on the way here. How full do they look? Like, what portion of them were lived in?
It's hard to tell because you basically walked past a door with some beds in it that weren't... It looked like, roll me, I think this would be Wits Investigation.
Okay. 12.
Just from the areas you saw...
Dune has a good sniffer, so...
that's true. From the places you saw, which you're not sure is all of them because you're smelling a lot... You can maybe detect maybe 10 or 11 different persons aside from yourselves, including the 3 in the room with you.
Mm-hmm.
At least the areas you passed through maybe could house 20. You suspect based on the trajectory of where smells are coming from, there are other dormitories, so this place could maybe house 50 or 60 people. There are definitely not that many here. From what you just saw, however the wolves down here organize themselves, there's probably a high turnover rate, or has been. So you're not quite getting a full sense of the whole history of the place, but it's like, yeah, there probably were more of them at one point, or at multiple points, and this group probably kind of grows and shrinks depending on the situations. You're also pretty sure not all of the active wolves went out to get you. Some stayed behind, which is a little unusual, except given these circumstances where maybe they are hedging their bets.
Yeah,
because any mission into that area, they may not come back.
Militarily, it makes sense. Pack-wise, it doesn't.
Yeah,
but they were also in Dalu form and not Geru, so it's not a proper hunt. So.
Yeah. Actually, I would say that from your werewolf lore stuff, you look around and it looks like they did a full Siskaraf. They did a full sacred hunt thing just now. So they did do that, and they were only in like it mechanically it beefs up your stats if you're in formal hunt mode.
Mm-hmm.
And hunt mode doesn't require you kill the thing you're hunting. So you just get the uneasy feeling that, oh, they called a full sacred hunt to come get us.
Oof.
That's, wow. To get a bunch of complete strangers in the middle of a wound. Holy bleep.
To be fair, there were complete strangers who had also managed to send a spirit communication of their own magic type to them.
Yeah.
So
So they're like, a werewolf or werewolf adjacent person needs our help. All right, let's do this. So yeah, you're starting to see the strategy that they have to enact to survive down here. And as this woman is sitting there, you get a sense that she's trying to choose her words carefully. Even, like, again, you're wolf-blooded. She could just start talking in spirit speak just to you and rudely leave everyone else out, but maybe her harmony would remain intact.
But also, Dune would get maybe one word in 3 or 4, so...
Yeah.
Like, Dune literally just told her, I'm not the spirity type. It took a lot for me just to read the fucking
I didn't take that elective! I took extra combat, I didn't take the spirit speech elective!
I'm not a spirity wolf blood.
So, you get a sense... So you've seen werewolves talk around things to, like, the herd must not know, but she's doing it... You think there might be another oath in place that is more strict than the standard do not talk about Wolf Club. Rules 1 and 2. We do not talk about Wolf Club. So, and she's kind of like, I'm not sure how to begin, because most of the time, when someone comes down here and happens to survive, they stay to help. Having seen what you just saw.
Would this be any sort of thing like the we've spoken to the changelings, and in their own way, they were asking to oath to try and move something terribly important that cannot be revealed to someone not of the oath. Would this be some sort of similar situation, or do not know anything about that particular one? Which, granted, was not only changelings, but there was mostly changelings asking to oath.
Well, we don't actually know. Are these the changelings that are helping us? Because we haven't actually met them directly yet, and if you can't
I believe
tell,
that at least a few of them were, because there are not that many changelings left on Lugoi.
Well, I don't know much about the changeling courts and their situations on planet, but she's like, I might just have to suck it up, and at that the Bob is just like, no, you don't fuck around with this stuff, and he's just like, he wants to punch. He's not angry at you guys, is the sense you're getting, because this is a person who's he's not hiding his anger. You don't even have to roll for it to analyze. He's not angry at you. He doesn't want to punch you. He wants to punch something, and he just sort of and like just walks out, stomps out the door, one of the doors. Dune, you would know that Rahu are very focused on purity. So, like, he doesn't even want to be in the room for this conversation. And maybe he can't be, because if his purity, harmony is important. Also, you notice, the Aether are not here. They fuck up, their harmony goes down, and they get less good at doing Aether things. It's werewolf is wackiness. And so what do we even... And she kind of looks at the surfer dude. Well, you're a Caliath. Can you figure something out? And he's like,
I do offer her the bottle.
And she kind of narrows her eyes at you, because awakening booze is not something you're supposed to do, and she's just like, no thank you.
It's finest old wolf country moonshine.
I'm
I get
sure
it straight from the
is.
countryside.
I'm sure it is. I am not from Eden's Wolf Country. And at that point, the Caliph has lit some kind of cigarette and is just like, alright, I'll take the hit for this. Like, I think I can figure this out. I think, yeah, I have an idea. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
Klaus,
And-
can you tell by the smell of the smoke what he's smoking?
Can I?
Sure. Wits medicine.
That is 14, so three
it's-
successes.
If it's not pot, if it's not space pot, it's some kind of, strain or species there. I'm sure marijuana is just a whole subspecies of plants now.
Yeah, that's
But-
fair.
It's basically low grade weed, kind of, not skunk weed, whoever's growing it is taking pride in it, but he's a little bit tipsy.
Got it.
But Dune, you can tell his joint is not awakened, so he's being a good boy. So, okay. So, like, so once upon a time, and the woman, Dune, you can tell by her tattoo, she's an Eladoth, and it's just like, oh, for fuck. She just sort of leans back in her chair and is just like, gonna let it happen.
Open your mouth and let the bullshit out. Okay.
So, like, okay. Once upon a time, Limos had a red plague outbreak and was like, hey, let's just trap them all in one district and then seal it off and bury them.
Buried alive, we saw the inscription.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up. So yeah, Limos doesn't exactly have a history of doing good things for good people. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so buried alive, yeah. Red plague killed everybody, and anyone who didn't die of the plague died of, Supernats going buck psycho.
We found
Killing everyone
a log inside, actually. One of the computers was still marginally functional and gave us an account of what happened at that point in time.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up. Like, oh yeah, did you notice there aren't any ghosts in there?
It was very obvious.
Yeah, that's because, so all that fucked up trauma opened a wound, and it's definitely one of those wounds that connects to something else, but we don't know what it is. But like, it's really only been us down here. And then there were only werewolves in that area and like, oh, you have to roll your. Oh. So, Klaus, you have spirit sight kind of passive, Dune. You know, and you get a sense he just got a little Klaus, you're not sure what happened. Something about him just diminished slightly. Dune, he just failed his harmony roll. Okay, so once upon a time, plague, disaster, magically opened a black hole in time-space, and lots of monsters came out of it, hypothetically. And then hypothetically, the only people who went down there to deal with it were werewolves who hypothetically carved out a home around it and make sure no one gets in or out. But hypothetically, like, spirit shit gets out and causes fucked up shit to happen outside, and hypothetically those werewolves stop it, and except when those things like intercept messages hypothetically, and then like, send out invitations hypothetically to hypothetical victims and try to eat them. Hypothetically, that happens a lot. This point, like, hypothetically speaking, maybe my ancestral tribal totem said, "Hey, bro, go downstairs. They need you." And I'm like, "Okay. I don't have a pack right now, so okay." And then, maybe hypothetically I heard this story and realized, like, I couldn't leave. Because it would suck.
Fair. I understand the bounds of duty and to be fair, I understand hypothetically the bounds of duty and the kinds of things that require to keep a pack here, but I would counter with that if the people don't want your help, are you obligated to help them?
Well, hypothetically, not helping goes against what we hypothetically are. And to deny one's true core nature and what one was designed by reality to do fucks you up, hypothetically. Like, and this isn't hypothetical, we're made to protect and serve even if we are forsaken, man. And we are forsaken, and this is our natural state. But also there's, like, hypothetically more problems. 'Cause, like, hypothetically, if someone had a fucked up shit this bad to protect, what happens hypothetically if someone really stupid who really likes power and killing shit finds out it's here? And then hypothetically, what do they do with it? Like, I don't know who I'm offending here, but we're talking, like, humans, changelings, mage assholes, vampires, like, lot of, this isn't even hypothetical, lot of people of all kinds see something big, powerful, and shiny and not thinking about what the fuck it actually is, try to use it to their own ends, and then fuck up an entire planet.
It's a pretty big hypothetical. I mean...
Yeah,
that's a really big hypothetical out there. I think you saw, yeah.
To be fair, I think that after the purge, there won't be too many beyond the humans who would become looking for it. But I admit that humans are probably the worst of the lot about it because they don't even have their own analogs to even think about what kind of trouble they would be in for messing with it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't have a good answer.
I mean, I knew people upstairs, like, when I was up there, and, like, so how are things upstairs? Did kicking all the changelings off planet fix all of the head shit? And stop it from happening?
From my understanding, the hedge is even worse than ever, although I believe my colleagues have more to say about that than I do.
I will pointedly look at Sungrazer as the changeling expert.
Sungrazer looks at Class.
Am I suddenly the changeling expert?
You're the one who gets no fucked up from saying things like that, so...
I feel like we do that thing where it's like head turn, head turn, head turn, head turn, head turn, head turn. Like,
okay, guess I'm sitting at the end of the row. From what I understand, because I am by no means an expert, I have seen a lot of hedge bullshit, though, and it is more bullshit here than back on Eden.
That's right. Yeah.
So, like, hypothetically, you get rid of all the werewolves, the werewolf bullshit doesn't just go away.
It gets worse.
Yeah, so...
As I recall, we actually rescued someone from a station where the hedge bullshit had gotten out of control. Remember the mission we put shoelaces on a floor buffer to make a weed whacker?
Missed that session, but I do remember listening to that bit.
I remember the space
This was before you were there, Holiday, sorry.
I completely forget what you were there for, but I remember the space station.
We were there to rescue somebody. Somebody had gotten off their ship at that point and then hadn't gotten back on. So the hedge was encroaching on the space station. I don't think anybody except me and you were there for this.
That wasn't just the hedge, though. That was hedge plus abyssal taint.
Yeah. So the hedge was eating the station.
Yeah, so it was.
But
and
yes, I don't. Well, perhaps then that it would serve perhaps to do the what we have done, which is to use bureaucracy to conceal what we are truly doing. If you can register yourselves as a company designed to keep the underlevels free from vermin and the like, then you could
Dude, we're like, okay, I don't think
apply for aid, like payment and food from the actual government.
No, because if the government doesn't kill us, what hypothetically will, and there aren't gonna be any more of us down here. Like, humans can't do this hypothetical bullshit. And, like, we've got some ranged bullshit, but, like, yeah, I don't know how the fuck, who did that to the thing? Like, that was fucked up. Like, we don't do ranged like that. That was awesome. But, like, just killing that thing, even if you killed the hypothetical big monster and its hypothetical generals and lieutenants, and then all of its brood of fucked up offspring, like, it's still there, and it's still bleeding. And, like, I don't know, there's something, like, not, hypothetically there is something not just Hissild going on there, but I don't know it, because I'm just a dumbass werewolf, and I don't know the other shit, because I've been down here for, like, 40 years. Klaus and Dune, do you remember what you sensed from the wound, aside from spirit bullshit?
Demonic bullshit? Oh, abyssal taint.
Goose!
God, I will actually turn on Klaus and put a finger at them. You and your damned goose.
I told you I didn't mean to do that, and, listen.
What's a goose?
Birds, but yay big.
I didn't mean to do that,
That's a
and I
big
fixed
bird.
it, right?
You know what's beyond spirits. I will turn back to the Kahelath.
I know there is stuff beyond spirits, but please tell me, because I don't fucking know.
So, this, we had a problem back on Idun. Something was walking through walls and stealing shiny bullshit. Which on the surface sounds some sort of spirity nonsense. You know, as they do. When we caught up with it, it was in the shape of a damned goose.
Which is a big bird. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, walking through walls to steal shit? That sounds made up.
When there were some extenuating circumstances, and I ended up taking a bite of the damn thing, and the thing bled essence like a spirit. But it was not a spirit at all. It was some sort of bullshit. Then I wave at Klaus again.
Can you be more specific about the flavor of bullshit, please?
It was
Asking-
abyssal.
Abyss, is that, and that's mage bullshit? Okay, that's like the evil mage dimension thing. Or maybe, well, I mean, okay, maybe it's mean to say it's the mage, but it's like mages deal with that bullshit and it's trying to kill them in particular, right? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's also trying to eat anyone who goes through a space, through a gate, and also on a spaceship.
Yeah. Alright, so... Oh, so that...
I have actually encountered this particular phenomenon before, except it was not mixing with the Hissil, it was mixing with the hedge. It was
Okay.
eating a space station.
Yeah, because that's what I've heard stories about, like, abyssal shit, is, like, in space. Because people have been in space too long, and it just
Not
eats
planets
their
in
brains.
space.
Well, yeah, but, like, we have a bulkhead of, like, 50 billion people. So, okay, so that's not 100% saves us from abyssal bullshit.
If you...
Not always in space.
Oh,
I mean,
and there would have been mages trapped underground, too, so, oh, fuck.
There's a whole mess going on in that wound.
Yeah.
If you,
And those, oh, did you notice the Magaths eat ghosts? Oh, well, there weren't any ghosts left, so yeah, that's why. Oh, shit. It just has to roll again. Okay, this time you get a sense of him, like holding onto the table, like he's gonna, even though he's sitting down, totally level. He looks like he just almost fell down, and he's like, "Oh, okay, ow, okay.
Good.
So
Maybe I should have smoked lit up before telling the story. Okay."
it's not exactly. I mean,
Ow.
you say there's a bulkhead of 50,000 people, but really, how many people are there down here?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Especially when something is tearing through other dimensions. Not just the gauntlet to the Hisil, but presumably other places as well. If there's an empty space down here, then perhaps the empty reached back.
Yeah. There's. Yeah. This makes a lot of mythological sense, and mythology is practicality with us, sometimes hypothetically, so, okay. Yeah, hypothetically speaking, wounds can be closed. But
That is a very hypothetical saying.
I mean, not as hypothetical as you'd think, but, like, it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of hypothetical wolf power, and it takes a lot of, like, hypothetically redeveloping an area to not be evil anymore, but, like, this is the Undercity, there's nothing down here, and we don't, you know, hypothetically, if there was an abyssal gateway in our near our territory, we would have no idea how to close it, because we're werewolves, not mages.
You don't have any in the pack, then? Then whose is the raven?
As far as I know... I mean, hypothetically, we're werewolves.
I mean, not... Generally speaking, the mages are, I've seen, the ones most responsible for abominations against nature.
Yeah, I mean...
That's fired.
Is any of you a mage? Because I feel bad saying this, but I'm like, it's true. I mean, okay, hashtag...
I mean, feel free to shit talk mages all you want.
Okay, I think I understand what's... I don't... No, I don't. Anyway.
Dune is still salty.
I'm a mage and I hate other mages. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
And Dune is just being salty about the goose, and will probably forever be salty about the goose.
Okay, so, like... Well, I mean, we've never, to my knowledge, had a mage down here.
First time for everything.
Yeah, maybe. Unless hypothetically it was centuries ago. But then why... I don't know. Like... So, if this hypothetical hellscape isn't closed, A, we hypothetically can't leave, and B, we will hypothetically die here. It is our destiny. And hypothetically, if there's no one left to protect the herd from this bullshit, it will spread.
What would happen, hypothetically, if that happened? Like, if you were all hypothetically not here anymore, and hypothetically it did spread and eventually consumed the entire planet.
Well, hypothetically, if it were a regular hypothetical wound that was just woundy stuff, like... You know, it would just sort of turn the whole planet into Magathapalooza, and it would be humans fighting post-apocalyptic versus hypothetical evil spirits, and the whole planet would go to shit. But if there's hypothetical abyssal bullshit going on, I don't know how much worse that can get.
This is gonna sound kind of callous, but you know, the
war is hell. What have you got?
Well, the humans kind of caused this thing in the first place. Maybe not directly, right? But hypothetically, I apologize. I'm not as familiar with your ways. But why do you feel compelled to stay here and defend them?
Because hypothetically, in the universe, there are creatures who were built and designed by larger powers to serve people even when they don't want to be. And protect people even when they don't know what the fuck's going on.
I have to wonder if that triggers...
To deny that nature, hypothetically, is to destroy oneself.
I don't know if that would cause the changelings to roll Clary. Because they're like,
Actually, what do you
things
think,
designed
Changes?
by larger things for specific purposes that can't deny them. I mean,
But hypothetically,
hypothetically, this is true.
Purely
Hypothetically.
if
Yep.
We're
you
speaking
were to-
only in hypotheticals here.
Call
Yeah.
it bullshit.
But
for
if you
everybody.
were trying to, so if we're looking at the macro scale, this is one planet full of shitty humans that have decided that they don't want your protection. There are thousands of other planets in the cosmos
That
have
need your
humans
protection.
on them that are in need of protection from strange, crazy things. Wouldn't going to one of those planets and saving those people be meeting your nature just as much as staying here and dying for this cause to save these people who don't want you here?
So, remember how I thought abyssal shit was just in deep space? And do you remember how Dune, or how, what is your name, Wolfblood dude?
I'm, you can call me Dune.
So Dune said, but this planet is in space. If there's hypothetical abyssal shit going on, and you've got, like, an abyssal cesspit on a planet that is surrounded by more abyssal bullshit, then what happens? I don't actually know, but I'm assuming it's bad.
I have a question for Klaus. Have you ever traveled near a black hole?
I don't think so.
Most people don't, for obvious reasons.
I was just
Sungrazer
curious.
might have.
Not even making you roll for that one, people.
I was just curious. You know, I've never been near one, then I don't
Never
know.
gone
maybe-
out of my way to be near one. Never been aware that I'm near one, so I'm gonna go with no.
I was just wondering that, you know, if you suck the planet into the abyss, then would that not technically be a black hole in the abyss? Which would then cause the star to go supernova? Anyway,
Out of character, you just saw a wound break all the laws of physics. Just putting that out there.
not all the laws of physics, but yeah.
A whole bunch.
A whole bunch, yes.
Whole bunch.
All of them, no. We would have become, like,
So what if a
spears in the
black
pavement if
hole
they'd broken all of them.
was set in reverse?
Huh?
So what if a black hole was set in reverse?
Oh, good, a white hole.
White hole instead
White
of
hole.
black hole, yeah.
But it's still the abyss, so it's still black.
Yeah, but it would still cause the sun to go
This is
supernova.
racist. Anyway, yeah, like, so like,
So this seems like a dangerous line of questioning.
I accept this danger. We'll see what we can do. I have my own bullshit. You know, what do you need? You're starting to get the sense that this is the guy that yelled Leroy Jenkins in the middle of the combat.
We're proud of him and his really, really old world memes.
Who else would name themselves after a meme as their deed name but a Kalith?
Yeah.
Klaus, do you have any idea how to close off a abyssal gateway? Just put it out there as a, you know, houseplant shit.
Klaus, would you like to roll your houseplant shit?
Yes, I would like to roll my houseplant shit.
Let me
How
take
much
it.
houseplant shit do you have? Like, I'm pretty sure, I thought you were, like, on the opposite side of the houseplants.
I have 1 dot of life. Because I'm on the opposite side of the houseplants.
I'm not sure I have your most up-to-date character sheet.
Oh,
but
It's a Google Doc.
oh, okay,
I will copy the link and send it to you again.
okay. I'm just looking at your skill specs. Well, you have spirit, and you have a spirit skill spec. Trying to figure out what to make you roll.
If it's an abyssal wound, we need some abyssal neosporin and some abyssal gauze,
Obviously.
Some abyssal tape.
abyssal tape, and then just time.
Yeah.
Time heals all wounds.
Please tell me you're
Yeah.
saying that in character.
If we had some abyssal sunlight, I think that would help.
Yeah.
So Klaus, roll me int occult, and you can use your spirit skill spec.
Okay, and remind me what that does in this game.
It gives you an additional +1.
Okay.
You also have a pool of 11 plus. You have 20 +1s in the pool.
I'm not going to use them because I have enough to get at least one success on dots alone.
Okay, don't botch.
Not botching.
Woohoo!
That is, 15. I can do math.
Okay, that's 3 successes. I wrote this down. So, you have heard stories of mages closing wounds? Like now that you're thinking about it, you think you've heard about this kind of shit before. You didn't realize it was that fucked up because you weren't listening super closely to the stories.
Going back through the backlog files stored away in my brain in unlabeled drawers.
Hanging out with Jasper and listening to people talk shit while they're high on hookah. A puka hookah. No, maybe not. No, this is Lost Changeling. There are no puka officially. Anyway, so I put my fake joint down. So you would at least a mage could, like, it's abyssal bullshit. It's spirit world bullshit. You think a mage might be able to, and like, mages warp the fabric of reality itself and all realities, which you're not sure werewolves can do. Like, from what you've seen, werewolves don't deal with paradox, but their powers, while sometimes awesome, are more localized. So you would at least need to have, like, a spirit master mage. So probably a Thyrsus might know better what to do. Maybe some other spheres, because if the abyss is involved, like, you're not sure what other spheres might be required.
The thing is that
at least you would need someone to have 5 dots of spirit. So that's a master.
Doesn't the abyss interfere with all forms of mage bullshit, though?
It does, but there are mages who have... Actually, no, that's metagaming. It does, but mages still somehow have to deal with it. The question is how. Question is how on 3 successes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're at least sure it would require spirit 5. Probably some other stuff.
We haven't actually made contact with any mages on the planet, have we?
I thought the White Duke was a mage.
Yep.
Oh, right, okay, right.
Within White Duke.
And they were the only one.
Yeah, it occurred to me. I was like, oh yeah. So.
Well, he's not the only one, but the others are scattered and, gallivant here on the planet doing mage things.
Yeah, I think when you talk to him, he's trying to round up the last of the mages and, like, figure out, like, do you want to stay here or do you want to leave? Kind of thing.
Because a mage could probably get away on Lugoi just by not doing mage bullshit because they don't have quite as many physical tells as, say, a werewolf or a vampire who has no heartbeat.
As long as the Supernat detectors don't get upgraded.
I would set off Supernats detectors sometimes.
I'm pretty sure that's just the drugs you take, because I'm also pretty certain that you managed to find how to awaken drugs, or at least awaken drugs.
You would think that, but no. I would set off detectors, at least some of the higher end ones.
Right, yeah. But I'm simply saying that for the ones at the post office or whatever, they wouldn't catch you, and they probably wouldn't catch any other mage who decided to hang around and just not do magey bullshit.
Potentially not, but...
Yeah.
That's still a risk and something that they will have to choose for themselves.
Yep.
What was the question that originally set off my roll?
Can you unfuck this?
Yeah.
Okay.
You personally?
Short answer, no. It can be unfucked by somebody better at spirit magic than me, though.
Oh.
Probably.
Do we know anybody who's better at spirit magic than you?
No.
Not on this planet.
Do we know anybody on this planet that knows magic besides you?
I don't think I was there for the other one.
I'm
No.
pretty certain. I'm pretty certain that someone at the bar, the Cha-Cha bar, knows. Excuse me, the Ska bar, knows perhaps the magical community much better, since it seemed to be a centralized watering house in this area, at least until the regulations had shut it down.
Bar. That place is still cool. Is the bartender still total fun bitch?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like she's an awesome bitch. I love her. She's awesome.
I have no real
she's still
opinions on the
alive?
subject,
Cool. Yay.
but that particular bar was suffering from an incursion of the hedge last time we looked in, I believe. We set it off, and that was fine. They've lost their liquor license, unfortunately.
Bullshit, man. I mean,
So they are now a coffee bar.
there's worse things. Dune, I want you to roll me int occult to remember a thing.
Spec werewolves or no?
I'll allow. There were werewolves involved in this
Okay.
tidbit of info, so yes, I'll allow.
14.
Awesome. So remember that HackerCon thing
Yeah.
where y'all were gonna snipe, or you were for some reason watching the rooftops and saw a
There was a guy on the run. It wasn't the HackerCon, I don't
That's
believe,
right.
actually.
No, it was because it was the Megacorp representative came in, and they were a very
Right.
high-ranking director, and your dear sainted auntie took one look at her and was like, "Everyone fall the fuck back," and you're like, "What?" And so a high-ranking member of a Megacorp is claimed. There are spirit possessions, and generally are I forget it. Oh my. I am totally blanking on the just base. There's basic possession where the spirit is trying to take over a fleshy meat suit and doing a kind of crap job of it. And
Right.
then there's claimed where the spirit has successfully taken over the body and is now a powerful spirit, usually a very powerful spirit, in a meat suit, in a corporeal meat suit. And this one in particular was a high-ranking person in
Chiron Corp.
Chiron Corp. It suddenly occurs to you that if that person in particular found out about this little problem here, and there were maybe other megacorps run by claimed, or even just that one, things could escalate once someone tried to weaponize this bullshit. So if you were looking for a reason to give a shit, this might be a reason to give. I mean, you're Wolfkin. You already gave a shit to some extent, but like,
Yeah.
oh wait, I've thought of a potential clear and present danger.
More clear and present than this eventually will sink into the, into the eye of terror or whatever, like.
And from this whole conversation, you're definitely getting a sense that because of that concern, whoever started this pack centuries ago made it an important tenet that we're not allowed to talk about this bullshit in case someone wants to take it over for bad reasons.
Fair. So. I'll take a swig of my laced coffee. It occurs to me that I have seen some very bad potential irregularities for trying to use this sort of thing even before it causes the entire planet to sink half in and half out of the abyss, leading to some sort of gateway for abyssal spirits, which I imagine would do nothing for shipping in the area. Not terribly long ago, we encountered a claimed in charge of a corporation, and one of the megacorps. Chiron Corp, to be precise.
Everyone in the room is like, what? And a few people, like, their heads poke in from other... What? And like, you see, like, it's weird seeing a bunch of werewolves actually, like, freaked out. Not scared exactly, but just like, the fuck?
I'm having sudden visions of like the chimney sweep scene from Mary Poppins. Cheru!
Yeah, they're like, what?
When they pop their heads in, Sungrazer's just gonna go, yes, it's true, even though they have no idea what anyone is talking about right now. So
I saw it myself and my sainted aunt.
Which Megacorp? Jeez, what Megacorp? Man.
The Chiron Corporation, one of their
So the
senior level
ones-
directors,
So
was acclaimed.
So the
I-
ones most well known for experimenting on, well, most rumored to be experimenting on supernats, is being run by a supernat.
Yes, that entirely. And it was confirmed by my sainted aunt, who is the Sentinel. There's her title, isn't it?
That's her title in Eden. There's no reason anyone here would have ever heard of her.
Right,
by
but
that
I'm going to
name.
call her by her title because her name would be too much to give them.
That's fair.
Who is the Sentinel and leader of the pack in Eden. One of two.
In the whole
E-
system?
I think that Eden is the only planet in that system that's active. So
Yes, but there's the only two packs in Eden City.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
The only two packs in Eden City, a city of I believe 50 million, something
Huh.
like.
Oh, you said the gauntlet was like really high there, right?
I believe that
Huh. That's
according
weird.
to my aunt, it is the highest gauntlet you can possibly have ever, perhaps.
They got a lot of hypothetical Aslu shit going on? That's weird, man.
That I do not know. All I know is that goblin fruit grows in the regular world of the city.
The Yellow Dot's like, what's goblin fruit? He's like, that.
I would really like goblin
I'll
fruit.
tell
right
you
now.
later. That's really
Shit.
fucked up too. Okay. I
I would really like goblin fruit. That would be great.
kind of really want to see this, but I kind of also think it's probably horrible. Anyway, so yeah, hypothetically, obviously we have some hypothetical communication problems down here, on many hypothetical levels, but like, yeah, we can't leave. Well, hypothetically, a group of werewolves defending a hypothetical abyssal wound, or defending everyone on the planet from a hypothetical abyssal wound, would not just be able to leave, because it is not in their nature. So, but if that hypothetical situation were just close or disappear, or a bunch of people were willing to swear oaths towards, like, fixing it, like, that, maybe they could leave. And then, you know, the planet could just deal with its fate, having successfully kicked out all the supernats, because surely that'll solve all the problems.
Well, I don't think that any of our particular skill sets are sufficient to trying to close the wound. Out of character, I think it would be really funny if you had managed, actually, Mr. Rando, to use your home takeover place to take over the Abyss.
Because that
Yeah,
wouldn't have
we-
had any repercussions. No way. Certainly
I
not.
I would turn on my I have a huntsman merit badge thing in my pocket, and it would have been fine. Because having two conflicting sources of ultimate evil running through your body at the same time, perfectly manageable.
Custody battle, custody battle.
Yeah, that's a whole nother plotline. Anyway.
I'm sorry. This is really, I've been sitting the entire time going, I wonder what had happened if he had won.
I mean, as with John Rendo's background, you've heard of abyssal incursion, taint, exposure, and it's bad. But you were not entirely aware that that's what was happening when you did the thing.
So I think the most important thing to do at this point would be to establish either a line of communication or a safe passage back to you once we have acquired the services of the person who would be able to assist with this particular issue.
A secure line of communication so we don't get any more forged missives as well.
Secure
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, like, again, like, we're not pissed about that, because that shit just keeps happening. This
Well, we're
time,
pissed about it. So.
hypothetically, this might actually work to our advantage. I'm just glad we saved, well, most of you. Like, your buddy still looks really fucked up, but...
Buddy
To be
is a
fair,
very-
that particular werewolf is a native of Lugoi.
Okay. Huh.
Or did you mean the dead one?
Again, buddy is a very loose term.
I
Let's
am
take a
pretty
look at
sure
him when
that
we're done here.
Petruchio
that
was
as the
just-
one who pays the bills, that the vampire is at least a co-worker.
Petruchio has been just laid out on a couch as, you know, a corpse.
Arms crossed.
Yeah.
You should take pictures.
Someone here has a sense of humor.
Take pictures of Petruchio
Well, I
like
mean,
this.
Your vamp buddy isn't dust yet, so he's still alive. Just
Yeah.
I don't know what they're. I mean, hypothetically, a regular wound, let alone an abyssal wound, just bleeds evil, and hypothetically will just fuck you up standing next to it. I have hypothetically seen people have seizures in its proximity. Hypothetically. Like, it's fucked up. Like, when hypothetically your soul tries to eat your brain because evil, like, ugh.
Hypothetically, if you get a place where I can wash this blood and spirit gunk off.
Oh yeah, man, I thought you wanted to keep it. Like, yeah, like, you know.
No, I generally don't like wandering around with other people's blood on my skin.
Cool. He literally barks some sort of name, and one of the other Ithair come in, he's like, says something to them in Wolfie's speech, was, you know, hey, take this guy to the showers, basically. And this guy's like, oh, dude, okay, come on.
Have any eyes?
You mean aside from these two?
Yeah, like in
Spares laying around.
Spares lying around.
I like to point out you still have 2 in your pocket unless those dissolved upon you leaving the wound.
Okay.
They may have, but I also feel like those aren't ones I should swallow.
That's coward talk.
What's
like,
wrong with wanting more eyes anyway?
Like
Do you actually
bionic
say
eyes?
that's coward talk to Sungrazer?
Well, like, we've got
That might be a clarity check.
We do this to each other about once every 4 or 5 sessions. We give
I
each other
know.
30 checks.
Hashtag changeling problems. Alright, so our timer went off for the 10-minute break. So y'all just got a major weird info dump.
Yep.
So maybe digest that for a bit, and a werewolf is taking John Rando to the showers. But, like, literally.
Ooh la la.
I mean, I did the quest give romanceable and final boss piece NPC meme today. I am prepared to play all 3. I kind of played the 3rd one last week, though. So, like, well, Dune would know werewolves aren't allowed to make out with other werewolves, so... I mean, these guys are a little tired. They might not really be going like, ooh, ass. Ass is in range.
I have 2 ranks of pretty. I have 2 ranks of pretty that very rarely come up.
Then you can also look like anything you want.
You
I
can share the
also look
shower.
like anyone that is pretty.
So at this point, you are noticing it more from this person. You didn't get it at all from, like, what you were assuming are the 3 people in charge or highest ranking in military brain terms. Everyone else has been kind of like side-eyeing all of you, and now you're starting to get a sense of what. Like, no one's doing anything untoward or lewd, but you can tell, like, these assholes haven't had a shore leave in a very long time. And for whatever reason, and that's what's weirding you out, because you may not know this, but they're not forming attachments with each other.
What are they, Jedi?
Maybe. Hashtag monk life. Monastery in space, underground, in the abyss. Anyway, so chat, we're gonna take a 10-minute break, and do some break things, and break some stuff, and yeah, so, spend those channel points, because again, you can buy player plus ones, GM plus ones, and NPCs custom that I then have to figure out how to play. I do have editorial control, but 2 of the high-ranking werewolves you just met came from NPC drops. Leroy Jenkins, the Caliph. Woohoo! So yeah, spend your channel points, get some ramen, get a drink, check the weather report, don't check the news. I will not check the news, I will not.
Most important thing is, don't drive like my brother. No. Sorry, gotta love the car talk.
Alright, chat, we'll see you in 10 minutes. Bye! Hello, NWoD chat. I wasn't
Hi.
looking, but I clicked in before I said 3, so whoops. Sorry, bad producer Chris, bad Kermit. This is why I am angry, Kermit. Now I'm angry at myself. This is Magic
Can you be Darth Kermit?
Darth Kermit. In the hood. It's like, I say, yeah, kill the characters. Alright, so this is Magic Fish Radio. We do tabletop RPG streams twice a week. Assuming my body hasn't derailed me in everything I want to do with my life, like streaming. Hashtag Spoonie Life sucks. And yeah, but tonight is Saturday night, so we are running Exit to Eden, a world of darkness in space, or worlds of darkness in space, which is all of the NWoD splats, well, that I love, or at least the 4 main ones, in a far-flung future, a far-flung dystopian space opera cyberpunky future, where all sorts of shit's going down because people have decided to hate Supernats, having completely forgotten how much shit Supernats protect them from, which leads us to today's situation. If you're watching live, awesome! Spend some channel points and buy player and GM buffs and custom NPCs to torture us with. Because I like it. I also have final editorial control over NPCs, so suck it up, they're not hack attacks. Sorry, not sorry. And yeah, we use that instead of cash, because there's an apocalypse going on, and I want you to use your cash for more important things. Magic Fish Radio cares. And wants people to stay alive, and just provide happy nerd distraction of dystopian other situations, and not the dystopia we're in. So yes, when last we left our protagonist, they had just gotten an info dump from a bunch of actual underground werewolves, who were sitting on a wound that they did not realize was abyssally tainted also, and apparently these werewolves just can't leave and then leave the planet to its fate for kicking out all the Supernats. Because that's not what werewolves do. It is called Werewolf the Forsaken for a reason. Because whoever forsakes us, we must still do the werewolf life. And the werewolf life is to defend the herd without telling them what's going on. So that led to a very interestingly worded conversation of a lot of hypothetical things. So, Mr. John Rando asked for a moment in their showers so he could wipe some of the Magath blood and ichor off of him. Or actually, no, just to say it was your blood, or no? It's...
Well, a little of mine, a little of theirs.
Yeah.
What you said was, most of it's my blood, but it doesn't bother me. Specifically.
That was the first time.
That was the first time they asked, yeah.
So yeah, so you know, this dude in again, they're not really wearing army casual, but they're definitely wearing, you know, just utility clothes that are pretty cheap and well worn. And he's just, alright man, takes just to their decon. It looks like this used to be some kind of proper decon showers, but yeah, it's pretty run down. It's been here for centuries. Again, everything is well maintained, but it's been here a long time. And there's room for a lot more people down here than there currently are, as far as you've seen. The other 3 of you, what are you still hanging out with the surfer dude and the English lady?
Drinking coffee.
Drinking coffee?
I want to take a look at Petruchio and see if I can figure out what's wrong with them. I understand if the answer is they need to sleep it off, but like...
You're suffering a terrible case of player absence.
Yeah.
Although on the upside, Josh did tell us he wouldn't be here today, so
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about him being under a bus dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so conveniently, vampires, I guess, maybe, what are you doing, like, a medical check, or, like, an occult roll, or are you doing
Probably a little of
disparity
both,
roll?
because I am really not sure what is wrong. I've got time to try a couple of things and just, like, see if I can figure out what's wrong.
Came a bunch.
So, do you have a medical spec in vampires? What are your occult
They have
specs?
magic specs in death.
Yeah, I have a lot of spheres in death, but
I mean, that's why I'm
thoughts on the
letting
death
you make
sphere.
this roll at all.
Yeah.
Basically.
No, I have ghosts and spirits as specialties in occult.
I say, make an int occult roll.
Okay. Ah, that was a 10. So, do I roll again? Do those explode?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, fun fact, chat. When we started this game almost 2 years ago, I didn't want to make everyone buy a bunch of dice in the middle of a plague. So I used an old LARP trick. So instead of every dice is a d10, you roll 1 d10 and add your dots to it. Or rather, instead of every dot being a d10 in the White Wolf way, we do the LARP thing.
5 successes.
Jesus.
I rolled a
This
21.
is how we do it. To be fair, they had like 8 dots.
Yeah.
And then they 10 again, and 10s explode. 1s are botches, and you may think, hey, a 1 in 10 chance of botching, that's mean. You clearly haven't watched that many episodes of Exit to Eden, because these people roll
To be
like
fair,
gangbusters.
We had 5 botches in a row trying to get Min butt space out of
Fucking
Klaus's
Min.
head. So
Yeah,
we have managed to do ourselves a damage.
Klaus, speaking of Min's butt space, they're in there, and they have just been, like, the sense you get from them being an AI trapped, an AI who set up permanent residence in the computer in your brain because cyberpunk. You get the sense that they saw how fucked up shit was getting and was just like, you suddenly have a sense that they are reliant somehow on you staying alive. So they decided it was in their best interest to not annoy you and distract you while in the middle of whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah?
But you definitely...
So they're being sullen and quiet for once.
Yeah, they're kind of like, this shit's more fucked up than me, and I am disappointed. But you also get a sense that they're paying attention, which you're not sure how you feel about that, because you're still not entirely sure what the fuck it is. Having been magically and medically examined for this problem by several professionals and some tea ladies.
I'm starting to just live with it.
Some tea witches.
I trust the tea witches, even the grouchy one.
So yes, you rolled a 21, so that's 5 successes. Yeah. That's an exceptional success. So we'll say you've hung out with some vampires, and vampires do drugs by drinking the blood of people who do drugs. You've seen some shit.
I've been around Patricia for several years now.
Mm-hmm. And you hang out in a bar called Saga, where a lot of vampires hang out and do stuff that is maybe not completely advisable, but vampires voiding their own warranties for fun and profit. So generally, the only way vampires really heal that you were aware of is that they use the blood they drink to kind of repair their own bodies. Kind of like a magic spell, but not. Not exactly the way you use Gnosis to cast spells. This is like, it's something more visceral about it. Petruchio doesn't look physically injured. Like, they don't really look like they look a bit banged up because, they were unconscious and fell down to be unconscious and then were carried by a werewolf
several
and
times.
dropped several times. Like, they look they look like they may have a couple, and then, 2 levels of bashing from being rained on. And because...
They look like a pear in the pear wiggler. You remember that, Dracus? Okay, yes.
I don't. Anyway.
It's a GIF.
Okay. So, and you've worked in the medical profession, you know what it looks like when a corpse has been punched after death? He looks kind of like that. Because, fun fact, as far as I'm aware, when vampires are awake, they kind of generate an automatic vampire glamour that makes them look not like a corpse. When they are asleep, that turns off. It makes you very cautious of who you wake up next to in the world of darkness, depending on who or what you're into. But yeah, so if Petruchio were awake, they would just spend blood and fix all this, no problem. And this, like, you've seen people, you've seen you know what it looks like when someone is bashing damaged to death, and this shouldn't even be enough to keep them unconscious or knock them unconscious. So from a medical perspective, there is no medical reason for them to be unconscious. Therefore, being a mage with death magic, there is maybe a magical one. And since you definitely felt whatever was in the wound was trying to force down your morality, and, like, vampires do this thing sometimes where if they're just in the presence of, like, fire, they will rage out and freak. Actually, you saw it because there was that drug thing that was going around, and basically vampires were going directly into frenzy.
Well, we also saw the fire thing because Petruchio did. We were in the Grumble Guts. What was it? The Changeling, whatever. I don't remember the name. In the hedge, bullshit, the rotting place. They had fire in a drum, and actually Petruchio did in fact flip out over that fire. Ended up halfway through the ceiling, I think.
Yeah. So, that sometimes happens. So, like, your own moral tracker something was trying to force it down, and that, for mages, can cause weird bullshit. For werewolves, it causes weird maybe this is a reaction to that. Or otherwise, just, maybe vampires can't handle their evil. But again, if Petruchio were properly dead, they would be turning to ash, right? They would already be a pile of ashes. You do know that much.
Yeah.
As long as the vampire is a body, they're technically alive.
It's fixable somehow.
Fixable, yeah.
So I'm going to decide that falling unconscious was some sort of self-defense technique, and rather than continue to take the psychological damage of existing in that place.
Maybe.
And they'll come around eventually.
Yeah. You're pretty sure if you did feed them blood, they would probably, if not wake up immediately, that would maybe help things along, but, like, feeding, you also know, as someone with a
consider briefly the 2 vials of blood I am still carrying around from the fight, and then I'm like, but I am so drug-addled.
There's that. Also, with your skill spec in drugs, they'll just say, yeah, vampires get high by A, feeding off of other supernats, B, feeding off of people who have taken drugs. And that, yeah. We drank the drug blood.
I definitely trigger at least one of those, if not both. I'm actually not sure whether or not my blood as a mage would do anything special in the Supernat realm to a vampire.
With a 21, I'll say this has maybe come up in your experience, and it's not really that. It's kind of like pot. It's like there's a definite effect, but it's not really that strong or that dangerous, but you're still not sure, because you're not just... What would be funny is if Petruchio drank this drug blood, you really are a wizard.
Yeah.
I'm a wizard.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, out of character, I did look that up a couple weeks ago, just out of curiosity, and the internet said that there's no statistical difference, that if a vampire drinks mage blood, it doesn't do anything stats-wise different than mortal blood.
It's a mellow high. Meanwhile, I would say that when they drink werewolf blood, it's like cocaine. but like angry
Yeah.
cocaine.
Angry cocaine.
There might be a more specific drug for that, but I'm a
So it is
recovering
the
straight edge, so I
PCP.
don't know. PCP. There we go. Yeah, literally, it's a gang on PCP.
Changeling blood's like LSD.
Changeling blood is like LSD. So I would
Saw
just let
that
you
one
know-
in live action in the vampire game.
So just for clarification, you're saying that Petruchio knows possum-style kung fu.
Thank you for that demonstration, Chris.
I am dead.
Technically, this would be fainting goat kung fu.
True.
Thunk. But yeah, so no, there's nothing medically wrong with Petruchio as far as you can tell as a vampire, but it's weird that they're not healing themselves with blood or awake, so you're assuming magic bullshit.
Yeah.
And then you remember, you think of all the blood you have at your disposal, and maybe let's not have the boss man wake up high.
Yeah.
To be fair, the
The
token human.
I don't know, man.
Not really, but threateningly turns around. Dune, give me your blood.
Open and there's fur. I don't know if Dune is like human adjacent now.
You've had a lot of moonshine coffee.
Dune, this is true.
Hashtag lesser template problems.
Dune is technically, technically human. Doesn't sell the Supernat detectors. That's
Also-
all that matters.
Yeah. Also, Josh isn't here today, and I hate playing PCs as NPCs because I
Yeah.
hate when GMs do it to me. So
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
you're-
As I said when we started this discussion, I understand if the answer is they just need to sleep it off.
Oh yeah. So Petruchio, as in a computer metaphor, they're in sleep mode, and you want to make sure you think when they wake up they should wake up in safe mode, which you cannot do with your current resources of blood.
Once the paralysis wears off, they'll be fine.
So yeah. And with the 21, it wasn't a. Did I say it was? I said it was an occult roll.
Yes.
You have heard that some vampires just feel better in their own home, and well, the closest you have to that is your spaceship. So maybe priority should just be get them to the ship, and they'll sleep it off better there. Hashtag Von True Life.
Yeah. So
Some Von True. Anyway, so yeah.
Dune has basically been expounding at length basically on wolf country, which green and open spaces, woods, farms, things that these werewolves have probably never seen.
What is grass? No, they know what the grass is.
Yeah.
The Kalith knows several
thing
different
we
types of grass. And they're like, the Kalith seems into it. The Eladoth is just like, sounds boring, but not quite my scene, but...
Yeah, it's just like, wasn't my scene either, I left.
Indeed. Well, I mean...
They were, not the, nicest of wolves. Perhaps.
They were not, They did not show much respect for their kin.
For their kin, they did. For what they considered not their kin and merely their chattel, not so much.
Well, no, I mean their wolf blood. The wolf blood.
And I did too. They don't really consider them kin. They consider them property.
Yes, let's not go there. But, well, we'll see if we are able to, maybe leave this place under some circumstance in the future and not just die in the process of something hypothetical.
And I think that the first step would be to establish a line of communication between the two of us so that if we happen to find upon our other travels the assistance which is required to close the wound, which would be the best outcome even if you did not leave the planet, or if there was not a purge on, then...
I cannot confirm nor deny, but that does sound like such a interesting prospect.
I mean, in general, even in general terms, if there were not, anti-supernatural sentiment on the rise, a place such as this would need to be closed for the health and safety of all citizens of the planet.
All right, well, I mean, we don't really have... I mean, we're all Iron Master. Now I can say that. Many of us are Iron Masters, but with what we have, we've been having some trouble trying to get better communication with the outside world, in part because the outside world as we know it has largely left the planet.
This is true. I would suggest waiting for the rest of my compatriots to return, as they may have alternate routes to other places that would not involve technology, that may be more transversible than perhaps the...
Well, we can escort... We will, of course, be escorting you out of our territories. Just, that's going to happen. It's just communication afterwards is
And that's what I'm saying, but anything that you happen to have, sending it through the byways of another kind of place rather than the two that it is currently. And I'm saying that it might go around much easier and be less likely to be caught than any kind of spirit you might send.
Given how there's already a hypothetical situation of 3 dimensions that shouldn't intersect are intersecting, I'm not sure I want to mess with a 4th.
Fair. However, I do not have any kind of technical specifications to establish a more mundane line of communication.
So you don't have an engineer with you?
Sorry, what?
Somebody comes out of the coffee funk. Tech! Somebody said tech!
We have some technological equipment, but ironically, those of us who are more adept at technology do so through magical means rather than mundane, and that's not always foolproof. And in this case, our kind of magic might attract unwanted attention from a multitude of sources trying to eat you. Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
And the call is like, yeah, I got her to say that a lot. This is gonna be awesome. I taught her a new word, lol, and it's like...
Hypothetically, it can try.
Oh, you're back then from your shower?
Hopefully.
Yeah, it didn't take long. I mean, unless you prepositioned the werewolf dude.
Not today.
Prepositioned.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, he's definitely staying with you and not letting you wander about alone. So he escorts you back to the main room, and you are showered.
Excellent. Where's your communication hub?
I can take you there. It's a bit run down, as you could probably imagine. And
so, Grazer, do you want to help me fix the radio?
Don't mind if I do.
We also
which I'm going to ask you to fix the radio so I can make a phone call.
We also have a lot of broken, smaller radios that are narrowband specific. We can do some if you can do something with that.
I'll do something if you can do something for me.
What do you need?
Top up?
Oh, fine. And she just pours your coffee.
Excellent.
Dune, you're like, wow, they're willingly pouring coffee for people that are not werewolves that outrank them. That's kind of amazing. These people must be desperate.
Yes, very desperate.
They're too nice to not be desperate.
Yeah, they're being way too polite for any kind of werewolves I know. Even anti-Batman's pack are just in and out and not talking to, non-werewolves.
The turtle pack is a lot more sociable, but they live in the sewers, so...
And I haven't met them, really.
Yeah, not yet.
Is that the other pack in the city?
Yeah.
Yep, there's the bat pack and the turtle pack.
Have an NPC who helped us from that pack once?
No. We had Shadow's Gym, I think.
Yeah.
Grey Tom.
Grey Tom.
Was from the bat pack. However, in a certain bar called Clancy's that is staffed and patroned by a whole lot of Nova and Summer Court people, there is a door to the sewers for some reason in their Fight Club basement level.
What?
For reasons. Anyway.
What are you asking?
Asking you to help fix a radio.
Excellent.
Alright, let me take you to what's left of our communications hub.
This should be interesting.
Fancies is
I'm
not.
gonna follow.
Honestly, I'm half expecting us to find coconuts and string.
You do pass a small, what you can only describe as a miniature coconut tree,
Aw.
which is, you know,
Goblin coconuts.
goblin. No, they're mundane coconuts.
No.
I wish there were goblin coconuts. I would really like some goblin fruit. That would be great.
How likely is it that I am carrying goblin fruit in my,
Stash of-
secret space?
You're from Eden. That's not weird at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Or you're
like,
from Eden
I
City.
have so much space to just carry small random shit. I travel with changelings. I have a feeling I carry goblin fruit.
You have snacks.
I'm
So,
pretty sure you carry the special goblin fruit that makes you high too, because you offer that kind of.
Probably,
Headlock.
but like,
I didn't bring goblin fruit with us because I thought we were going to meet some people, not go punch a monster in the face.
I
Didn't
carry
we-
all sorts of everything.
Didn't we give Klaus like several purple mangoes that one time?
We did, and I don't
Probably.
know what Klaus did with them.
Yeah, so they could. I mean, they'll be on their person.
Yeah, so as I'm, just following you to the communications hub uninvited, I summoned from seemingly nowhere a goblin fruit and just like
Snackies.
hold it out.
Does anyone need a snack?
I mean, Rando didn't get more than
What
me.
on earth is that?
That
Well,
is a
what-
goblin fruit.
What on Limos is that?
Purple mango, obviously.
Huh.
Purple mango goblin fruit.
The question is, can the Idoloth smell
It
The,
smells very. No, thank you.
changeling bullshit on it?
That
Yeah.
smells interesting. Okay.
I'm eating the goblin fruit.
Rando,
Sorry, I
you're
kind
on.
of forgot I was carrying them until just now.
I'm sorry, what, Sungrazer?
You're all shiny.
Yeah, it helped.
Rando and Sungrazer, roll me. Let's call it wits. Actually, let's wits. I think it's add your wits to your clarity as a kenning roll.
Does a cute census apply?
Sure,
Okay.
it's flavor text anyway.
Wait, hang on. Acute senses. How much does acute senses have?
Add your weird rating.
Oh my. This will be a large roll.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
I'm starting with 4 successes, I think.
Nice.
26.
Jesus Christ. What did?
I rolled a 4, so I only got a 20.
All right, so you both exceptionally successed at noticing the hedge feels further away than you're used to.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to ask about seeing what the hedge was like here, given when I tried to open the gate and the wound and it just blorped out like foulness.
It feels like, so when you're in Eden City,
Mhm.
it feels closer than it should be. Well, I mean, it spills right out into the mundane world with all the goblin fruit, is the best way you can describe it. Here, it, like, upstairs, it feels more in balance, like other systems you've been in and other places than Eden City, where it's like, okay, it feels like a normal amount of metaphysical distance away. Like, you can still access it, you can still open hedge gates and things like that. Yeah, here it feels further than it uncomfortably far, and yeah. You're not, I would say, yeah, with the 26, the thought might have crossed your mind, like, I could open a hedge gate here, but what would it look like on the other side? And would I be letting other resonance in that should not mix and make a complicated situation worse?
I wasn't planning to open a hedge gate in someone else's home. That would just be.
But yeah, it's interesting as you're noticing things and thinking about it, how the different dimensions don't necessarily coexist happily
Or at
across
all.
the dimension, or at all. Like, it's interesting, being in a new place. And you get the sense that maybe it was the Abyss that was like, I don't control that yet, you can't have it. because the abyss is a jerk.
And nearby.
And very nearby, yeah. You definitely sense that there's that feeling of like evil radiation.
I'm
Not
just here
right
to fix the
here,
radio.
but
I mean,
yeah.
the hedge can stay where it is. I'm just here to mess with different lengths of wire.
But as you're eating your goblin fruit, it's like,
Well, I can't open a hedge gate right now anyway.
yeah. Well, as you're connecting with the hedge in some form here, the hedge itself feels further away than it should, which is a little unsettling, depending on how you feel about the hedge.
I'm pro hedge.
Yeah. It has its advantages.
You're hegemonic.
Damn right I am.
More puns!
Hegemony.
Yeah, so the English lady takes you to, this just communications hub, and it is... Oh, this is very old equipment, and... Oh...
That's fine.
You get the sense that because they can't communicate out, we need tech parts, and so they're not getting them. And you see, like, a accumulation of centuries of different tech levels and styles, and all just kind of bubble, chewing gum and WD-40'd together.
I have pulled up the jury rigging rules.
Woot! So. You're gonna need it!
Alright.
And you have 20 plus ones in the pool. And she brings out like a one of those plastic drawers or boxes of like basically small space walkie-talkies, which she's like, we've used any number of these, but it's just we can't get the parts, and some of them are so outdated that the parts aren't even made anymore, and it's not like we can go looking for antiques in our current situation.
I'm ready.
Alright, have at it, sir.
Some
Get this working and I'll get it fixed. I'll get it replaced.
I mean, I'm happy to just tear things open and dig in and see what I can do, but essentially, I mean, given what was said in the other room, I'd be looking to dramatically increase the distance and narrow the bandwidth to make it,
There is a kind of big central computer hub that looks about as frickin' weird as everything else, and that's the main, like, centuries of cobbled together things and other jury rig experts that it sounds like they might not currently have a jury rigging skill spec among them right now.
Well, they do right now.
They do right now. But before you got here, not so much. And then there's also the tray of walkie-talkies, so she's like, well, which one do you think... Which one will you start with? Or which one will you work on?
I'll start with the one that looks most recently acquired, most functional.
So that one's only about half a century old. You could probably still find the parts for it. So it's obsolete, but not as bad as some of the other things you've seen in here. As you're looking at it, it seems to have taken more wear and tear than it should have. Like, there's more corrosion than there should be.
Could I put 2 and 2 together and assume that the proximity of the abyss caused that?
Yeah, basically.
And
it's certainly in the abyss's interest to keep these people cut off, whether or not this was by design or is just convenient. But yeah.
Oh, I have a weird idea.
Yay! Because you're a changeling and everything's weird.
I'm wondering... Okay, this is weird. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can, like, manipulate my light shy cantrip to make it less visible somehow. Like, I don't know. But no, it's just... The abyss messes with everything, so I don't know if the abyss would care about something like that, but it's just a thought that occurred to me. Anyway.
So you want to manipulate the electromagnetic spectrum to make the radio waves less obvious to people you're trying to avoid noticing them.
Basically, yeah.
The question is how long does that cantrip last?
That is an excellent question.
Because if it's for one scene,
Yeah.
maybe not.
No, probably not. Anyway, it was just an idea.
Actually, I could use you doing that for one scene would be really helpful for the thing I'm going to do here in a minute. As soon as you get the radios working, so we can call outside.
All right. Well,
Okay, so which do you which are you going to work on first, or at all?
the nice one, the modern one.
Okay, so you're looking at the walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, the nice one.
Yep. The least awful one.
Yes.
Okay, so all right, so I feel like we've talked about what this role is before, and now I forget what it is.
I think it's wits plus either crafts or computer. Maybe crafts for the walkie-talkie.
Grazer.
But I have my interdisciplinary tinkering.
Yeah, so I would allow if it's interdisciplinary, then you can use your tinkering with anything. I dare say this is more crafts than computers.
Yeah. Okay.
But you can use your interdisciplinary skill spec there.
All right.
Because I love that merit.
I'm
such a
starting
good-
at 8, so I don't think I'll use. All right, so
I
I got
can help.
14. Oh, yes.
I actually
Before
have
I say what
crafts.
I rolled. I'll use Rando's help.
I have crafts 1. I can help. I can hand him tools.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's wits crafts.
I rolled.
You're much better at 10 against than I am, so.
I didn't roll that. I rolled a 13.
Okay,
Alright.
so that's 2 successes, so Sungrazer can add +2 to their roll.
16. So.
Okay, so 3 successes.
Happy to do an extended thing if necessary.
So 3 successes, you get this thing working again as a receiver and a sender. This one. You're not like, it's got a lot of, evil magic corrosion on it, so you're not sure this won't last a really long time. But you're not planning on staying on this planet for that long, even with helping. So it'll last maybe like a few weeks.
Does Klaus know how to more permanently prevent evil magic corrosion on something?
Gonna ask that.
Alright.
What sphere would that be?
Matter, probably.
Matter, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm half decent at matter.
At matter,
Matter
yes,
and
that would require a magic roll, which would require paradox roll.
It's one of my ruling arcana, though. Death and matter.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't think it would require paradox.
Don't all magic spells require hold on.
And because you have Spirit 1, you would know the exact type of energies you're trying to reinforce against, right?
Well, the Abyss isn't exactly spirit. The Abyss is and isn't all the spheres. So, yeah, it's like evil anti-magic. What the fuck was I just looking for? Oh, the mage book. I'm looking for the mage book.
Abyssal is one size fits all as for consequences of your actions.
That's it. Okay. Trying to remember where I put my digital books.
From the outside perspective, this must be like the most boring episode of the A-Team ever. It's like everyone around a table, like, trying to magic up a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, exciting stuff here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could always just changeling magic and actually make the coconuts a walkie-talkie.
Again, it depends on how long that magic lasts. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying long-term planning doesn't always work that well in second ed, because a lot of second ed things end when scenes end. Which I guess was the trade-off for creating the second ed system, to force people to roleplay at all times, which I have mixed feelings about. Paradox. Blah blah. Oh my god, why is my mouse just not working? Paradox dice. Once a single paradox die is added to the paradox dice pool, the storyteller must check for the possibility, even if other factors reduce the paradox dice pool to a chance die. Okay. So... none of you are sleepers. I just have decided that. Other Supernats and lesser templates are just not sleepers.
Everyone in this room knows I'm a mage, if that solidifies anything there.
Hypothetical.
Hypothetically, no. I did away with the hypotheticals on this one. I just straight up said it.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, oh wait. I had a quick and dirty spell casting thingy. Quick reference. We were supposed to go over mage bullshit at any point before stream itself.
Yeah, and then this week really got away from me.
It punched me in the face. A lot.
You know, last week before break, so.
Oh, yeah. Spellcasting cheat sheet. Yeah, I'll go with that.
There you go. That's the important one.
Yahoo! Nope, this item, Dropbox, this item was deleted. Thanks. Okay.
Damn.
Try another one. Nope, access denied. I had that really good sheet and I don't know where I linked it. This is very annoying. Ugh. Sorry, chat. Mage bullshit is happening.
So, Rando, how was your shower?
Not as eventful as I was hoping.
I know what that's like. I mean, sometimes you go in a shower expecting something eventful.
Yeah.
And in the end, you're just clean.
That was not the intention of that shower.
Okay.
I found this. I will click it and link it to you directly.
Link it where? Because I have several programs open right now.
Discord. I will message it to you.
Okay.
And that is what I have found in your cheat sheets for Mage.
I'm trying to scroll my way through the book because I know I looked at this like last week and did not get enough to figure out what I was doing, but got enough to maybe know where to look for things.
Just gonna keep messing with
Okay,
walkie-talkie.
Merc, thank you, but this is all flavor text and not actually the system.
Sorry.
Rando, do you want to keep helping with walkie-talkies?
Absolutely.
How about, Drakus, if you could look through the book while I have the changelings work on the tech, and then once they're done, you can maybe make the thing less corroded with mage magic.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Do the casting of the spells.
Do the spelly stuff. But, alright, so yeah, you've gotten a walkie-talkie that, barring any kind of mage bullshit, will probably last a few weeks. Which you're not sure how long it will take to, you know, fix that hellscape problem, or how, but a few weeks will at least, you know, help you work out other options, like getting them better equipment.
And doing so through a line of communication less susceptible to either observation from the prejudiced government or evil things that want to lure us here again, hopefully.
Yeah. You're pretty sure if this is the part your crew is taking with you, then it'll probably won't keep corroding so much. But whatever they have here, it's like...
I know, I want them to have a working one also.
Yes.
So.
Yes, so are you taking out another walkie-talkie, or are you going to work on the main big array thing?
I'm going to do a second walkie-talkie and then the big array.
Okay, so Rando, do you want to roll first?
Sure.
For your assist?
6 plus blah, 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 blah. Wits plus craft. I rolled myself an 11.
All right, that's 2 successes. So, Sungrazer, add 2 to your pool.
That was less good. 13. So 2 successes.
So 2 successes. So you've gotten another one. This one will probably last a week before it shorts out.
So that's the one we should take.
Yeah.
Probably. All right. And I mean, I'll keep. Maybe in 6 days I'll try working on it again or something. So through the major array, what do they actually route through there? Like, just messages and such?
It looks like it's you can turn it on with a little bit of sparking.
Oh, I like sparking. So
but it's like zzz, zzz, because, you know, the wires and bubblegum are being corroded by the presence of the abyss, you think?
Sungrazer resists the urge to eat the spark and generate a field of electricity again that will electrocute everyone within 15 feet.
Why? Because it's fun. So this one's going to take more successes just because this is a big thing with a lot of weird parts. So what you've got is basically, you know, a computer with a big screen upon which you can connect to StarNet and various kind of dark web internet stuff, ideally, but the signal is very weak and they don't have a hard line, and the Wi-Fi equivalent is rather far away because this is such a dead zone for utilities on purpose, so no one would ever come down here to work on them. So the government would never have to explain why there is an entire plague quarter locked up down here.
So what I would like to do is...
So you get a little bit of internet. It's probably you see where the internet should be. And also it can also take in like the equivalent of like CB and emergency. It looks like they had stuff set up to like monitor the government and the cops to some extent. Like maybe a well-trained hacker could do some decryption and some stuff, but first you have to get the signal, which is where the problem is.
So I want to essentially build them like a signal amplifier, like a repeater.
Yep.
And also get the wires to stop sparking, because the last thing they need is for this place to catch fire.
Okay.
Can't stop the signal, Mal.
To do all that, I say you need to aim for a 20.
All right.
You have 20 plus ones in the pool.
It's true.
And Rando.
Is Rando able to help with computer?
I have computers.
Actually, this would still be crafts because the programming, you know, is sort of meh, but it's really the hardware that's falling apart.
All right.
Would you also... Can more than one person help? Because I also have crafts at 1.
Yes.
Hand me lengths of wire.
So, assistance. Roll your tool handing.
Crafts plus what?
Wits crafts.
Okay.
I have 14.
Oh my god. 19 plus 4 is 23.
Okay, so that's plus 3 and then plus 6.
Excellent.
So the more moonshine Dune has, the more competent they are at crafts. Which, you know, I've seen it before. So that's plus 9 to your roll.
Bringing back days on the farm working on shit.
So that takes me to 17 to start. So I will add 1 plus 1.
Okay.
Because if I botch, it's going to botch anyway. So. All right. Yes, I rolled a 2.
There you go.
So
A 20.
That's 20. That's
That's
good.
all you needed.
All right. So yeah, it's taking a while, but you work out, okay, these are the wires that are actually important, and these are the ones we can disconnect because they're sparking, but they don't actually need to be there, and we'll route more power through these, and...
Dune accidentally leans on something and reveals a panel that had been stuck in place for generations.
Yep, basically. An ancient candy bar stashed hundreds of years ago that is slightly melted and was making things even worse.
But the wrapper is acting as a diode, so I have to...
So yeah, there's a lot of jury rigging, and Dune and Rando, you're not sure what Sungrazer is doing, but it seems to be working. Actually, no, Dune got a 9, so Dune, right now it makes sense. It might not make sense when you sober up.
That's the important one.
Every time a spark hits Sungrazer, they kind of go... Ooh.
So yeah, it takes about an hour of work, but you have reconnected the power supply to be less stupid. You have created you have created a signal amplifier for them, and I guess the equivalent of a stronger signal receiver. So with being, next door to the abyss, you're not sure what this will look like in another few weeks, but maybe this will last like a month.
As long as it lasts as long as the walkie-talkie, that's...
And if you can get them just, newer equipment, maybe they can do more patchwork. Can
I attempt to, upgrade their software too, because our main hacker is currently in torpor on the couch? Where, after this, I'm going to go draw a mustache on their face and, a monocle.
And, I am absolutely taking pictures.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet, to be
Oh,
honest.
it has.
An opportunity to slip it in. That was...
Okay.
But we're just saying it out loud.
Yeah, there is, one of the other wolves is, basically just sitting in the rec room with Petruchio because,
they're not leaving them unattended.
Yeah. They're like, we don't know much about vampires except the ones here are kind of jerks, so we're just gonna keep an eye on it. They're not doing anything untoward to him yet.
You're welcome to.
They're not gonna stop you from doing it, because, you know them. They're your vampire. That's fine.
He's our friend.
Anyway, so yeah, an hour of work. To do some software updates will be a computer's role.
Wits?
I'd say it's wits, yeah.
I have 1 dot in computers.
Do you want to help before I say what I roll?
Sure.
How many changelings and wolfbloods does it take to upgrade an OS?
Not this Wolfblood.
Oh.
No.
Did you botch?
24.
I botched.
Oh, okay, so -1 from your pool. So,
Ooh.
I rolled a 24. Try the 10 again.
So -1 plus 6. So add +5 to your roll, Sungrazer.
That is a 17.
Okay. 4 successes. Yeah. You're able to. You're able to patch up some of the software. You really can't, update the OS without bringing it in and installing new stuff. But you're able to clean up what's there and make it run more effectively. And, over the centuries, people who knew more about computers than the current pack, installed a bunch of, shareware that, turns on when the computer turns on that you don't really need anymore and you haven't needed for 300 years, ancient buggy video games and things like that. So you basically do,
Clear the cache.
Yeah, clear the cache, uninstall a bunch of old stuff. What did we used to call it when you get all the data to recondense in one... Defragment, yeah. The equivalent of defragmenting, which I don't think I've had to do for, 15 years, but, I'm sure... It's like Red Dwarf. Why do we have VHS tapes in the future? Oh, because the Blu-ray discs broke too easily, so we brought VHS back.
In hour 6, we defrags.
Hmm.
Bring it back.
Oh, I don't think we said that on stream, so that'll not make sense to anyone.
That's fine. I'm cool with making references to things that people won't understand.
So yeah, you've gotten this to work better. The English lady is there, and she's watching. Is like, oh, okay. Who installed that? Like, kind of, she's just not getting. She's staying there because there's a wolf.
You
watching
find the
over.
hidden file structure full of
She's just
porn.
like-
I'll move that onto an external drive, so they still have it.
It's been at least 50 years since anyone used this regularly as a computer, but there have been previous generations of werewolves who have clearly used this as just their home computer and the communications array, and yeah. So you do a lot of patching and a lot of fixing, and again, hardware-wise, this will last about a month before it needs more maintenance or better stuff, but you've got it. It'll work better now.
And perhaps Klaus has found a way to help prevent corrosion.
Okay.
Hey now. Sing this corrosion.
I think
To me.
that they have not.
Perhaps not.
Klaus, wave your hand.
Hmm?
Okay.
Sorry.
Sure your screen hadn't frozen.
No, they blinked.
No, I froze, trying to comprehend mage bullshit.
Mage bullshit is hard. That's why there's only one in the party.
I think that honestly makes it harder.
And also, I mean,
If
Unless-
if we get a new player's like, I want to play a mage, the stipulation will be you have to know how the bullshit works.
Yeah.
I'm not having another person here, and then there's 3 of us that have no idea what's going on.
we
Yeah.
can table it for next time too. I mean,
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I am coming up with nothing at the moment.
We can also work because we have 3 minutes left of, or it's 10 p.m. now.
Yeah.
So we can table this for now, and then because also I need to double check if just proximity to abyssal wound invokes paradox automatically.
Yeah,
'cause-
and it might. You might
yeah.
determine that it does.
So
physically the tech has been shored up. Metaphysically,
yeah.
TBA.
Yeah.
And you're not, changelings, you have no idea what's going on. You get the gist that, okay, we need more mages to fix the werewolf problem. You don't know how long that's gonna take, but, within a few weeks to a month, you can at least get them better mundane equipment.
Yeah. Which
You would,
which the vampire could help with too. So
Actually, if you could do that light fire cantrip, I think I can take care of that. To cloak the signal.
For right
Yeah.
now, or...
Yeah.
yeah, for right now.
Well, who would you like? So the last thing, so everyone think up if there's anything else you want to do before we break tonight. So for now, the changelings are going to try and make a phone call. Who are you going to call?
I'm going to call my ally in the planetary government.
Ghostbusters. Okay, never mind.
We've determined there are no ghosts here.
I know.
Well, I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I
Yeah,
am
it's
not afraid of
their
those.
absence you should fear.
I don't think I've run into any
So
recently.
fun fact, there's a spirit numina that allows them to eat ghosts.
Okay.
Out of metagame for fun. Anyway, so you want to magically cloak the call to the government so that government cannot trace it back?
Or the abyss cannot figure out what we're doing.
Okay.
Because that seems to be one of the things that we're trying to do with this.
Are you going to try and operate the computer to call the government yourself, or are you having Sungrazer take the lead on it?
I'm letting Sungrazer do the phone call.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
so
I-
Sungrazer, Rando is trying to call the government.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm 100% on board.
So,
with
so
that.
this is where the role playing happens. So,
I can bend the bureaucracy to do a lot of crazy, exciting things, including getting us better equipment, body armor, guns, computer parts, all that sort of stuff.
Why,
I can actually make that happen with a phone call.
why don't we just have the boss pay for it? It seems a lot
Because the
more-
boss is currently a decorative floor adornment, that can't do a damn thing. If he were awake, I would say cool, but we don't have access to his credit card, and he won't tell us what the security code on the back is.
Well, I think we could get it out of them, but all right, fair enough.
To be fair, I don't. If anyone could turn the bureaucracy and the contracts and various mealy-mouthed monitoring of the government to their advantage, I would believe it is the lawyer.
Oh, right, I'm a lawyer.
Among
I
other
wasn't
things.
100% certain who the lawyer was until.
Wait, we have one of those? Okay. Welcome to the world of darkness.
You signed on to Karve Tourism as a lawyer. That's what the card said when
I
you handed
signed
it.
on as a piano player who also.
No,
happened
you
to
signed to the
practice
party
law.
as a piano player.
I have both cards.
Yes, you
problem.
do. But the one you had at Chukio was the lawyer.
Well, I didn't think he wanted a piano player, so.
You're right.
Here.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Correct. This is correct.
I mean, you're a tourist agency. You don't. Did you think they needed a drug dealer / doctor?
You already have one.
You already have one. Well,
Not
yeah,
after
but
they
at
have
one
one.
point you didn't.
I don't know what dude's job application said. Thug, heavy, person who punches people. I don't know what that job
Security
application
expert.
Bartender.
Doug, probably.
Weapons
Security-
stasher.
I mean, he was a bouncer before this, so.
Security specialist.
I punch things
Public
good.
relations.
Spent 60 years as a bouncer, you know?
I punch things real good. So
I'm
I
just
like
trying to make
bureaucracy.
sure that you guys don't make an appearance in my old job in the morgue.
Technically, it was the ER, but you had a lot of work with the morgue.
I mean, I worked in the morgue enough that I, stumbled on mage bullshit. But that's a
You
story
remember
for
how I got
another
this
time.
car?
yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Rando.
Also, didn't you, you're on the ship now as an inspector general for the government, so.
Correct.
all right, well,
Yeah.
So yes, let's send a message to the government from our secret werewolf hideout
Yeah.
next to
close.
the
What could
gaping wound in
possibly go
time
wrong?
space.
maybe let's make that call from above ground. That's where I'm leaning. I mean, maybe this nice English werewolf lady would like to have the final say, but I feel like,
I mean, if you can match, if there is some necessary reason that you have to call from here and you can magically cloak it, I'm not against it. But yes, why don't you just call from upstairs?
Because the other thing I'm going to do is make a call to the ska bar upstairs, which is a midway point, to arrange a communication point with you and the group of mages that we know exists on this planet.
See, that I'm all in favor for, but maybe call the government from upstairs.
That's going to slow us getting supplies to you and for you,
By how
because we
much?
still have to get out.
Well, yes, we can get you out within the hour. We know all the safest routes, and yes. There are far fewer of these monsters roaming the corridors.
Oh, good. There are some roaming the corridors.
Some.
great.
Excellent. Dune, you bring us to the best places.
To be
All-
fair, I'm pretty sure that.
To be fair, your
the-
friend was tricked. Tricked by
That doesn't
something
mean
with
that we didn't
centuries
commit.
of practice.
I was actually going to make the point that I'm pretty sure that the high society party that we ended up on your kind of nonsense was more full of sharks and dangerous things than this place is.
No, that was for Petruchio. That was his fault.
I am making a
So-
vast overstatement in support of my own point here. I know I'm
Anyway.
aware that I'm doing this.
I would have no problem at all. I would very much like to set up a line of communication with the Scar Bar.
Yeah.
I believe it used to be called Scylla, but some of the neon has gone out.
Oh, yes.
Sungrazer, would you like to make to
Whatever Leroy was talking
connect the
about.
call?
I would love to. All right.
Excellent.
Scar Bar.
I'm just thinking about the best way to do this. I guess I'd have to use the contract on the entire computer.
What? Let me bring up the Changeling book. Why isn't my mouse working? Why are you like this? Why am I like this? Why is my... Can Sungrazer fix my computer?
Yes.
Oy vey.
Also, I didn't ask you to go running into the hedge after me when I went into the hedge at the High Society party. You guys all decided to do that all by yourselves.
To be fair, I didn't. Dune did not. Dune really had to deal with high society.
Yeah.
Dune went and
That
got
was-
drunk with the security staff.
And again, that was Petruchio's fault, because he wanted a magic detector.
Which we got.
We did.
2.
3, actually.
3. 2 from the party.
Okay.
No. I went right back to the warehouse and got a second one. And took that off.
Sungrazer, what page is this cantrip on?
133.
Technically, I think we ended up with 4 in the end.
2.
Okay.
You got the data brick from the party, and then you got one... Oh no, you got 2 from the municipal building, because Rando went back. Or, well,
Okay. For some
Rando
reason,
got a second one. Whether or not they shared it with the rest of the party, I do not remember.
No,
I thought
typically
Klaus
thought
had
that
also
one.
stolen the defunct quote-unquote one that they gotten pulled from the...
That was the only one I stole.
Okay.
know
I left
saw
the
that.
other one wired in. I think I messed with it some so that it would be offline again when everyone came back to functioning. But I didn't steal it.
Okay.
And I dropped the third one off with the Archimedes Syndicate so they'd quit bothering us.
Fair.
So Lightshy works on you.
I have the wizened.
Oh, the wise. Can invoke this contract with an object. Alright. So that says it cloaks an object, but you want to cloak a data stream? I'll allow it.
Mostly to try and keep the Abyss from eating it.
Okay.
It
Okay.
seems
I'll
odd.
allow it. So you're hiding it from the Abyss, not Scylla.
I'm trying to hide it from everyone.
Okay. Okay. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
I'm gonna say like I need everyone to turn around.
I need everyone to close your eyes.
Basically, yeah.
I'm not
And I'm
paying
gonna turn
attention
the
to you.
lights out.
When you reach this spot on the letter, revolve.
Okay, so what do
No.
you send to Syllabar or Skaba?
I'll say. What was it? In my head, it's Maya who was running the bar, but I can't remember if that was.
I think Maya's the changeling.
Yeah, Maya's a changeling. I just used the same NPC.
But it was at the bar.
Yeah, as
Or-
well.
Okay.
At the Skaba.
So I'm gonna send Maya the message and say, "This is Sungrazer. I'm here with some friends downstairs who who could use a line of communication with you to reach us. We're trying to help them out. They're trying to help you out and everybody else.
We'll,
We'll
have her locate the Thin White Duke at his earliest convenience.
Yeah. We need to get in touch with the Duke. We'll be by shortly to explain in more detail. This message is only a test. Eat this microfilm, Sungrazer.
You get so you send the message. In what format is it if they want to reply, or can they not reply because of the light
I
blur?
feel like if it's that old and we had clutched this much together, it's probably just terminal, blinking carrot waiting for...
Telex.
Because you still need to is it a text message? Is it an email? Is it
Whatever Maya's most likely to see quickly. I mean, so I guess if she has a phone that gets...
Yeah, I guess so the space equivalent of text message. She's
Yeah.
like down just get downstairs question mark?
all the way downstairs.
You get you get that thing where someone's reading it and just doesn't know how to. It's like, okay, we'll find him.
Thinks heart smiley face. Kissy cat face.
Please have coffee ready.
Yes. P.S. The purple stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna flip the lights back on and say, it worked.
All right. Oh, and I'll just say, with all the tinkering you did, you do have just a direct line of communication from this thingy to the 2 walkie-talkies.
Cool.
We'll take the one that's gonna die in a week then.
Mm-hmm.
If left down here.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, we can shore them up against metaphysical corrosion. But that's a next.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's a problem for next time.
Or downtime, so we'll figure that out between games.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything anyone else wants to do before y'all pick up your vampire friend and walk out with a bunch of werewolves with firearms?
Man, I almost want to drag Petruchio by his feet up the stairs so he smacks his head into every stair on the way up.
No.
They do so in that rec area mess hall. Some of it is literally rec with a W because werewolves live there.
And it's a mess.
Mm-hmm. Some of it
We
is.
draw on Petruchio. We
Yeah.
take pictures.
There are felt tip markers around. They're like 50 years old, but they still work enough to draw on a vampire face.
Nice.
Excellent.
Well, Josh, you said you couldn't make it.
And the changelings did, so the changelings were changelings.
Yep.
Man, this is going to go really well for when he has a vampire family reunion.
Oh yeah, the other Invictus would love to see these pictures, I'm sure.
I mean, we could make this his his holiday festival card.
Let's make it his about the staff page on the Carve website.
But there
There
you
you
go.
go. Post it to his LinkedIn.
Founder and CEO.
The fainting goat vampire.
I ain't dead.
Anyway.
Getting better. Anyway, is there anything anyone else would like to do before taking your drawn upon vampire friend?
I will
And-
leave one bottle of awakened booze, full bottle, back on the table.
Leroy is just like, okay, and he puts his profile. Cool. Thank you.
Because the Rahu would smash it.
Yeah, the Rahu hasn't wanted to hang out with. You definitely get a sense that the Rahu actually wants the help, but they're a Rahu and they have issues.
Like, we need help, but I hate the fact that we need help, but I really wish we didn't need help. We need your help.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So that, again, that feeling that he's not angry at you, he's just sort of angry that he needs y'all.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, by not being around you, he is not taking it out on you.
That's the important part.
So that's a woke Rahu right there.
Because I have been on the receiving end of an angry Rahu.
Yep. All right. So is there anything else? So yes, the werewolf pack. They do. You go out with about 4 of them, 2 of which have the guns, and a couple of those small Magaths come at you again, and they just like one-shot kill them because they're like, oh, these are the stragglers.
Really hoping to kill him with a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a spare gun they could loan?
Regular guns, yes.
Okay, well,
But these seem to be special.
I already have a regular one.
Dune will trade out one of his guns for one of their guns because their guns are A, old, and B, untraceable. Because they are old. They're regular guns.
Yeah,
I'm assuming they don't have any newer regular guns and they do the specialty guns. Like, maybe not quite that old, but still not very new. And they would have been here since before the weapons ban, more importantly. Which is why they're training one of...
You're taking an untraceable weapon.
I'm taking an untraceable weapon and
Okay,
leaving them
that
one that
makes
I have
more
used
sense.
somewhere for a crime.
That's, yeah.
Because they don't care.
They're cool with that. One of the Iraq is like, oh, cool! One that actually works without me having to lick it for 30 minutes. Thanks, man. And says that openly in English.
The Abyss
We
is
need to
fucked
get
up,
you
but
all
it doesn't
awesome.
actually care about what weapons you're using. Or the fact that you are using them as a general sort of thing.
Well, like, so hypothetically,
Oh.
New favorite word for the werewolves.
so like hypothetically, when a bunch of spirits and humans and supernats all go crazy and eat each other into monsters, those bigger spirit monsters would hypothetically absorb the
Weapons knowledge.
no, just the opposite, the frailties of the creatures they consume. Which is why which would be hypothetically, if a bunch of people were to go in and shoot to kill, they would bring a bunch of silver and cold iron bullets in with them. And, you know, maybe a magical ray gun that shoots sunlight.
Right.
So, hypothetically, the big thing in the middle is hard to kill, but has as many frailties as it does weird evil magic shit.
I
Right.
was just saying
So
it doesn't have a
literally-
weapons ban.
Hypothetically, the bigger it is, the harder it falls kind of bullshit, but, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was just
I
training
would-
for one of the regular weapons because I need something that would,
On the other hand, hypothetically, now that it got beat to shit by someone, like, throw a rock at it, man? Like,
yeah.
it could eat some of its lieutenants, hypothetically, and be bigger next time. But still have a lot of hypothetical frailties. Which
Oh,
can
that's
be
okay, I'll-
hypothetically exploited if we hypothetically had, like, a real plan, hypothetically. Oh,
I'll
that's
actually
okay.
bring my armor and weapons the next time instead of going in without anything.
Well, I think there's going to be a big Rochambeau, and we hypothetically will have a lot to talk about, and that'll be a really confusing conversation, but we'll make it happen. See you later.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Next time we come back, Dune is definitely bringing the long distance pulse rifle.
Yeah, that's one
You
of
know, the building leveler.
Yeah, Dune, this is one of the first time you've encountered, like, fetish guns are not that common. Most werewolfy bullshit is, like, is hand-to-hand combat. They don't have a lot of ranged magic. But, you know, clearly changelings are better at ranged magic. It's just too bad changelings don't come down here that much. And to say nothing of whatever mages do, because mage bullshit, no one understands it. Mages
Even mages
themselves,
don't
yeah.
understand mage bullshit. And if they say they do, they're lying to make themselves look good.
So yeah, ironically, the oath the werewolves might have taken to not talk about this shit to outsiders, if they hadn't done that, maybe they would have had more outside help earlier, and maybe this could have been resolved earlier, but werewolf life! This is why we're Forsaken. Lol. Anyway, so if that's it, then that is game for tonight. I said we'd end at 10. Sorry.
At 10:30. Oh well.
Anyway.
It happens.
To be fair, this is about the amount of time after when we started, so
Yeah.
3-hour game. So, alright. So, chat, thank you for watching, either live or from the future, via VOD. Hello in the future. I hope certain wars are over by then in the favor of Sunflower Land.
And other
No
wars.
doubt-
I'd also
Oh,
like
there-
all the other wars to be over as well.
Arcane, did
Resolve
you drop
peacefully.
did you drop an NPC I didn't see? Damn it.
Yeah.
Dr. Duck, the expert on changeling something.
Damn it.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Where'd that happen?
Where
That was
is
a
it?
while ago. The
Oh,
changeling
Professor Duck.
PhD.
PhD in changeling impact on the hedge.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Well, if I don't use NPCs or even +1s in that game, I will use them in subsequent games, which is why there were so many interesting werewolves.
I will make it my mission next time to find a way to get us to meet Professor Duck.
Okay, so, as for outros, this is Magic Fish Radio. We do TTRPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturdays, assuming my body hasn't disintegrated into mush. Which has been doing a lot lately, and I hope it ends soon, but spoony life sucks. Personally, I am at Ms. Chrysla on social media. I am also at Magic Fish Radio, so if you're talking to us as a channel, you're talking to me. I am the Angry Kermit of this channel. And I'm in the Tuesday night game, and I'm also in a not at all on this channel game on Thursday night on We Are Nerdsmith, called Romp Through Ravnica, where we are doing D&D Ravnica style, and I am playing a Tabaxi barbarian named Moo, who talks a lot like a certain Kaliath you just met. But a lot slower. And she's smarter when she's in rage mode, it seems. It's interesting. But yeah, that's a fun game. So yeah, that's Thursday nights for at least through April. I think it's like 10 episodes long. And they are doing an ongoing raffle for a big box of Magic the Gathering cards. So if you watch live, every session you can put in one more, exclamation point ticket thing, and then they do a drawing on the last episode. So it's incentive to watch me be silly live on Thursdays. So yeah, also, ideally, it's been a bit weird the last 2 weeks because, Spoonie problems. We do Exit to Eden 1 week, and then we alternate it with a random indie game run by someone. Might be one of us, might be a guest GM. Merc just downloaded a whole big fun bundle of games, and there's some fun stuff we might want to try. But if you are an indie TTRPG writer, artist, developer, contributor, Kickstarter, fan, etc., and want to run a one-shot module of your favorite indie RPG, whether you wrote it or not, get in contact with us. Join our damn Discord, because I am better at Discord than I am at Twitter. And we are chill. Someone put a Discord link in the chat, because I am going to keep talking. And, yeah, do that, and come hang out with us. We are also, I keep forgetting to post it on Twitter, but we are open for new players on Tuesdays and Saturday nights. Tuesday nights is, Vampire the Masquerade V5, set in the 1920s, called Eldritch Adversaries, and we could use a few new players. Because when one of us is out, we only have 2 players left, and, it's a little rough.
Potentially some new players who make some better informed decisions than the rest of us.
Yes, there's a reason my new ending line for every stream is please Diablerize responsibly. And this next week, if I'm not having a 48-hour...
because of me or anything.
Yeah. This Tuesday, if I'm not having a 48-hour migraine, we find out what happens when a young Nosferatu Diablerizes something ridiculously old and powerful. But that's the fun of having new players in a vampire game. Like, I've been playing it too long. I would never be so silly as to Diablerize something irresponsibly. New players don't have my hang-ups.
But the game
It was the best option in the moment.
But the game is the bad decisions you make along the way.
Truly.
Anywho, so yeah, that's Tuesday nights, and we are looking for new players and guest GMs. So if you're interested in either, join our Discord, where I am better at saying things that we need and asking for help than on, because Twitter is just sort of annoying. And Facebook is just useless. Facebook is hiding our own fans from us because we won't give them an extra $5, and it's like, Anyway, so that's me. That's Magic Fish Radio. And everyone else do your outros while I look for someone to raid, and then write down the NPC I missed.
Okay. I'm Merc. I play Idun the Wolfblood. I don't really do anything outside of this, but on Monday, March the 7th, this coming Monday, The Reliables will be back on Monday nights on Zombie RPS Entertainment, if you would like to watch them. And speaking of that indie TTRPG bundle I downloaded, it's an indie TTRPG bundle for trans rights, because they are currently under attack in several US states. So I will go ahead and drop a link to that in chat, so that you too can enjoy the indie silly weirdness, and also support people who need support and not more bashing.
Woohoo!
Right, guess that's me then. Hi, I'm Dracus. I've been playing Klaus this evening. You can find me here playing Klaus whenever we're running Eden for the most part. You can find me here playing Vern in the Tuesday games. Uh, Hopefully not making decisions like I was before, but you know, maybe.
Good decisions.
Diablerie has turned out to be something very interesting, and I can't wait to let everyone else find out what happened because I do, in fact, know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no, we don't know what happened. We split the party and shit got weird.
Yeah. Puka.
Hi, I'm Puka. I was playing Sungrazer. I'm Puka Gar here on Twitch as well as on Discord and Twitter. Mainly outside of this stuff, I write homebrew material. If you're into Changeling, the 20th Anniversary Edition, I found out that randomly 2 things that I wrote are on sale for the next 8 days, I think. The Emperor's New Coat, which is about Selkies, and Kispoki Ledoux, which is about the Green Folk. So you can pick those up from storytellersvault.com. And I also want to put in a plug for the Trans Rights Bundle because I too supported that. It is 493 separate role-playing games for a, however much you want to donate. So I heartily suggest that you go get some games. And that's me.
I am Zardoz, at Once in Future Doctor on Twitter. I write role-playing games once in a while. Every so often I show up other places and do things. Right now I am not currently working on anything, but something will be coming soon.
Yes, if you're new here and haven't watched much Exit to Eden, I adopted from another group a version of the World of Darkness where gender is accepted to be fluid because I like it. And I am cisgendered, but I still would rather live in that world. So yes, buy the bundle. I keep forgetting to, but I will tonight.
Day command for it.
I got distracted yesterday because it was Bandcamp Friday, so I was like, no, must look through all of my music wish list.
I totally missed that too.
I have to start putting in my calendar. I can start putting it on the Discord. Just, it's Bandcamp Friday! Buy music!
There's a website, is it bandcampfriday.com?
Oh,
so you can...
Is it? Yes! No. I remember that now. But yeah, Bandcamp Friday, first of the month. Another plug that has nothing to do with us, but... what's the it's the music artists get the that's right, Bandcamp doesn't take its percentage, so it all goes to the artists.
I mean, they only take a small-ish percentage to begin with, but
yeah, and because buying things on Bandcamp is the same as streaming them literally a million times on Spotify, so
Yep. And Spotify has its own issues these days. So I'm glad I just somehow never got on that bus. Okay, so yeah, trans rights are human rights. So, blatantly SJW channel, you don't like it? Fine, don't watch. Lots of other people don't watch, and we're fine with it. Okay, so absolutely no one is running TTRPGs tonight, so we're gonna go raid a DJ.
It hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, we're gonna raid Joe Virus, who is a fun, usually gothic industrial DJ. What is he? Yep, goth, death rock, post-punk night.
Excellent.
So, he is, he knows DJ Kangle.
Yes.
They know each other. That's cool. The raid has... Okay. Yay, it worked. So again, thank you for watching us live. Thank you also for watching us on VOD, on Twitch or YouTube or whatever. I hope we gave you an adequate few hours of weird, distracting nerdiness with a weird hack on a strange gaming system that sometimes I would rather live in than this one. So until we see you next time, please take care of yourselves, please take care of each other, and please Diablerize responsibly. Bye!
And don't drive like my brother.